SiriusXM app.
Hello, Blue Jay fans. I'm Craig Ballard, host of your daily Locked On Blue Jays podcast. Locked On Blue Jays is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Locked On Blue Jays brings you the latest Blue Jays news and analysis and breaks down all of the action. Locked On Blue Jays is everything a Blue Jays fan could want, all in a 30-minute daily podcast. Download Locked On Blue Jays right now on the SXM app, available with all trials and popular plans, or wherever you get your podcasts. Search Locked On Blue Jays.
You love listening to baseball. You love talking about baseball. You love yelling at your buddies about baseball because they love baseball, and so do we. That's why SiriusXM has the only channel on the radio dedicated to baseball 24/7. It's MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89. News, opinions, passionate baseball talk from former players and GMs, plus interviews with players, managers, and executives, and much, much, much more. If you can hear me right now, you've got MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
Hey everyone, it's Justin Turbin at your 24/7 home for hoops all year long is SiriusXM NBA Radio Channel 86 and the SiriusXM app. Just search NBA Radio.
Field, way back, way gone!
Is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Low rounding and heading for second to throw. In time!
On the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Back at home for the last week of the season. As September reaches its end, only 6 games remain in the 2024 schedule. The Blue Jays start the second to last series of the year with the Red Sox in town for 3. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us from Rogers Center. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Show Ali is our host and producer today, and Tom Young and Luke Swadron are our technical directors. Toronto Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Brantford and Woodstock, Ontario. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com. Canada's #1 rust protection. Chris Bassitt and Tanner Houck face off tonight in what should be their final, or could be their final, starts of the year. Both teams have pitched well recently, but ask for more out of their bats going into this series. First pitch is coming up next. You're listening to Blue Jays baseball, streaming on the Sportsnet app at sportsnet.ca and across the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with every purchase of $15 or more. Visit timbermart.ca.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Beat the rush. Protect your vehicle with Canada's #1 rust protection today. Find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, Pizza's big hitter, fixed rate pizza. An extra large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. I dare say, folks, inflation stands no chance against this all-star. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for fixed rate pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca. Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's building center. Visit timbermart.ca.
Shohei Ohtani. There it is! The first player in Major League Baseball to have a 50-50 season.
When the sports world is talking, nobody gives you more perspectives than the experts of SiriusXM.
This is a remarkable freaking accomplishment.
Hear instant reaction on Mad Dog Sports Radio.
It's incredible. Guy's unreal.
And expert analysis on MLB Network Radio.
He is the type of player that can evolve into anything he wants to be.
Live sports talk when you need it is on SiriusXM and the all-new SiriusXM app.
Blue Jays fans, after this game, get back to what's really important. Your fantasy football team. We're talking about it right now on Fantasy Sports Radio, Channel 87, and the SiriusXM app.
Radio Network.
I want them to continue to play the way they've been playing, and I think the common thing we've been talking about is, these close games, especially in Tampa, how do you turn those into wins? How do you make adjustments? How do you execute, when you really need to, get a hit when you really need to? Little things like that we've been talking about for a while now with these guys. And the effort's definitely been there. So hopefully you turn a few of those one-run losses into one-run wins and continue to build on that moving forward.
That was Blue Jays manager John Schneider speaking before the game about what the Blue Jays still have to play for in the final 6. They're starting the last homestand of the year with 3 against the Red Sox before 3 against the Marlins over the weekend to end the season. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. And Chris, especially for the Blue Jays' younger players, these are not throwaway games at all. Still a lot here that you can show your manager before you go into the offseason.
Yeah, I think it's an important thing to remember when watching these last 6 games is a lot of these guys are fighting for their lives, fighting for their jobs, fighting for 2025, especially guys like Nathan Lucas, guys like Leo Jimenez, Jonathan Clase. They want to open up eyes. They want to open up John Schneider's eyes, Pete Walker's eyes, Ross Atkins' eyes. I'm really excited to see these last 6 games. There should be a lot of fight.
The only thing the Blue Jays aren't really fighting for right now is a spot in the postseason. Let's take a look at the Bet365 standings. Download the Bet365 app for today's baseball odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly, Ontario only. The Blue Jays are 73 and 83, 19 behind the division leading New York Yankees and 9 out of the American League wildcard. They cannot make up that ground before the end of the season. The Red Sox technically still in it, 78 and 78, 14 back of the division, 4 back of the final wild card spot, being held in a tie right now with Detroit and Kansas City, 82 and 74, 4 games ahead of them. So 4 games back, 6 games to play. Unlikely, but not impossible. And as they try to make a miracle happen, Chris, who's in the lineup today for Alex Cora's team?
Well, leading off for the Boston Red Sox is Jarren Duran. He'll be in left field. At shortstop is Trevor Story. He'll bat second. Batting third is Tristan Casas. He'll play first base. Cleaning up is Canadian Tyler O'Neill. He'll be DHing tonight. In right field, batting fifth is Wilyer Abreu. Batting sixth is Connor Wong. He'll be behind the dish. Batting seventh is Nick Sogard. He'll play third base. Batting eighth is Vaughn Grissom. He'll play second base. And batting ninth is Cedon Rafaela. He'll be in center field. On the mound for the Boston Red Sox is Tanner Houck, a 2024 AL All-Star. For the Toronto Blue Jays, leading off is George Springer. He'll be in right field. In left field, batting second is Nathan Lucas. Batting third is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He'll be at first base. Cleaning up is Spencer Horwitz. He'll be DHing tonight. Behind the dish is Alejandro Kirk. He'll bat fifth. Batting sixth is Addison Barger. He'll be at third base. Playing shortstop is Ernie Clement. He'll bat seventh. Batting eighth is Jonathan Clase. He'll be in center field. And batting ninth is Leo Jimenez. He'll be at second base. On the mound, making his 31st start of the season, is Chris Bassitt.
Potentially, but not absolutely, the last start of the season for Chris Bassitt, who could pitch again in the final game of the season coming up on Sunday. For Bassitt, 10-13 this year, a 4.16 ERA. He's coming off a start that's a little bit tough to dissect. 3 2/3 innings. He gave up 6 hits and 7 runs, but only one of those 7 was earned as an error in the middle of a 4th inning that turned into a huge run-scoring inning. Ended up costing him a lot of unearned runs. He walked 3, struck out 2 in that start at Texas.
Yeah, a little bit of a messy start. 80 pitches in those 3 2/3 innings. We've talked about this a lot, but he's a guy that really has to dot that fastball when it's kind of erratic, when it's all over the place. He doesn't have a chance to mix in those other off-speed pitches that he has really effectively. So if he's going to have success against this Boston Red Sox team, he's going to have that good fastball today.
For Bassitt, it's the 3 types of fastballs: the sinker, the cutter, the four-seamer. He, of course, has a lot of different non-fastballs between his curveball, his sweeper, his slider, throws a splitter, and a changeup as well. Blue Jays toss it around the horn there in their Dark City Connect uniforms tonight. Red Sox in their road grays, and the leadoff hitter, left fielder Jarren Duran, steps up to the plate and greets Alejandro Kirk. Last homestand of 2024 about to get underway. Bassitt on the first base side of the rubber, going to his right hip to call a pitch as Duran steps into the box. Bassitt steps onto the third base side of the rubber. Righty into the wind. Kicks and delivers. And it's a first pitch fastball to get ahead 0-1. Time of the first pitch today is 7:08 Eastern. The roof is closed here at Rogers Center. It's been a cooler, a little bit wet day in Toronto. Bassitt's 0-1. Swing and a liner foul over the netting and into the seats down the third baseline. 0-2.
Well, Ben, it is officially fall, so that's what you can expect. A little bit of drizzle, a little bit of drop in temperature. That's exactly what we got today.
It was the 21st that it turned to fall officially?
Yeah, officially.
It looks like we'll get a little bit of the taste of summer on the weekend, which is nice. Hopefully the roof open then. Not sure we'll have it open during this Boston series. So the lights are on at Rogers Center, illuminating the field as Bassitt takes a long look in, winds, and delivers the 0-2. Slow breaking ball outside, 1-2. Balls and strikes tonight being handled by Nick Lentz. Scott Berry is the first base umpire. Tom Hanahan mans second, and the crew chief Lance Barksdale at third. Right on left, the 1-2. Outside again, 2-2.
Really tried to come up and in with that cutter, and he kind of missed way outside, arm side high. It almost looked like he was trying to do a little bit too much with that cutter, trying to make it move a little bit too much.
It's been inconsistent at times going into lefty hitters like Duran. 2-2, foul tip, strike three. Gets that fastball up and a little more inside, and he strikes out Jarren Duran to begin the start.
Well, that's exactly what he was trying to do. Alejandro Kirk had that target up and in, and he absolutely drilled it 94 miles an hour at the top of that strike zone. Perfect pitch.
Went to the sinker that maybe he's a little more comfortable with, throwing all over the place. And it's a strikeout for Bassitt. Now he faces Trevor Story. The pitch. Outside, ball one. First inning is brought to you by Armstrong Bird Food. Bring nature to your backyard with Armstrong, feeding Blue Jays since 1986. Visit ArmstrongBirdFood.com. 1-0. Story takes high and outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Chris Bassitt might not be as happy about it, but I think it's nice to see Trevor Story playing for the Red Sox against the Blue Jays. He has just not been healthy much in his Red Sox career. 2-0. Swing and a foul off, 2-1.
And he's looking pretty good with that big beard.
He's a changed guy playing in his 22nd game of the year. Looking a little bit more veteran.
Looks a little bit more like Nathan Lucas as well.
Story returns to the Red Sox on September 7th, 2-1. Swing and a pop-up right side foul. Guerrero chasing it, but it gets out of play, 2-2. Story came into this season healthy with the Red Sox, but on April 6th went down and got shoulder surgery that potentially at that point was going to knock him out for the entire year. He did manage to come back. This is his 14th game since returning to Boston. When healthy and in rhythm, he can be one of the more dangerous shortstops in all of baseball. In 21 games this year, Story hitting .260, 2 homers, 9 RBIs. 2-2. Slow curve hit foul out of play.
Of course, everybody remembers him from the Colorado Rockies when he would just hit those moon shots. He was a stud as a younger player. Obviously, with the Red Sox, like you mentioned, hasn't really put it all together. A lot due to injury.
Righty batter has an open stance. Brings the bat above his right shoulder. Leaning back a little, the 2-2 again. Fastball just outside. Bassitt thought he had the punch out. Instead, it's a full count.
Chris Bassitt nodding his head, kind of squeezing that glove with his bare hand. He wanted that pitch.
Bassitt winds, and the 3-2. Down and away ball 4, a first inning walk for Story. Bassitt walked 3 in his last start when he ended up giving up 7 runs, although again only 1 of them earned, and his walks have been up. That's his 64th walk of the year. Last year he walked 59 and threw about 35 more innings.
Yeah, and you have to wonder about the decision-making right there. I think that in a 3-2 count, nobody on, 1 out in the first inning, you don't want to throw an off-speed pitch in that situation. You want to throw a fastball that can maybe be hit on the ground. And for whatever reason, Alejandro Kirk and Chris Bassitt decided to go with a cutter that ended up being below the strike zone. I would have just thrown a sinker right down the middle and see what Trevor Story can do with it.
Instead, Bassitt throws a fastball over to first, and Story dives back in. Now Tristan Casas up. Bassitt from the stretch. Story takes off on the pitch. It's outside, ball one. Throw to second, not in time. Ernie Clement caught it and applied the tag. Throw got in there on the fly, and Kirk at least thinks they might have got him. He's looking over to the Blue Jay dugout. John Schneider waiting for Gil Kim, and the Blue Jays are going to let that one stand. So for Trevor Story, his 6th stolen base now in only 22 games.
Well, that stolen base was all on Chris Bassitt. Alejandro Kirk again makes a perfect throw, almost getting Trevor Story. Trevor Story actually got a very good jump on that pitch, but Chris Bassitt very slow to the plate, not really paying attention to the runner.
Bassitt now staring at second, the 1-0 to Casas. Left-handed hitter lines it foul into the netting, 1-1. No score in the top of the first. Story on second, 1 out. And Casas, the .241 hitter and first baseman for the Red Sox, up to the plate. Another guy whose season has been marred by injury. This is only game 58 for Casas. 1-1. Fastball just high, 2-1. In 57 previous games, Casas batting .241 with 12 homers, 29 RBIs. 2-1. Missed outside with the breaking ball, 3 balls and 1 strike.
And you have that open base at first base. You really don't want to leave something over the middle. Tristan Casas hit 3 home runs yesterday, 7 RBIs in the first game of that doubleheader. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, you don't see a hat trick every day. Casas with the ability to hit for big power, and only 24 years old. Hit 24 homers last season and has a pace over 30 if he had played 162 this season. 3-1. Hit foul off to the left. Bassitt elevates the fastball upper middle of the zone and gets Casas to send it into the seats. Full count. All 3 batters so far for the Red Sox have gone to a full count, or pardon me, have at least gone to 2-2. Bassitt struck out Duran in the first. Story walked on a full count. And now Casas asking for time as Bassitt will go to the back of the mound and play with the rosin bag for a sec. Bassitt back on top of the hill. Casas in the box. Runner on second, 1 out. The 3-2. Fastball just inside, ball 4.
And that was a ball, but Alejandro Kirk did a really good job framing that pitch, bringing it back, making it look like a much better pitch than it was. Chris Bassitt obviously wanted that pitch, but that was in fact just a little bit inside.
And for Bassitt, that locks in now. Multiple walks for the 7th time in his last 9 starts. 2 walks this inning. Runners on first and second, and the big Canadian Tyler O'Neill up to the plate. Native of Burnaby, British Columbia, grew up in Maple Ridge. The pitch. Bounce to the plate. Kirk with a snap throw to second, and it's not in time. Story was way off the bag at second base, so much so Casas broke from first, thinking they were doing a double steal. Kirk threw behind him, and the Blue Jays are taking a look at this one. Call on the field is safe.
Well, that was a perfect throw. The Blue Jays will, in fact, take a look at this. That was a perfect throw from Alejandro Kirk. I think the mistake came from Leo Jimenez. He kind of made a weird tag on Trevor Story out at second.
Blue Jays are asking to look at that one.
Toronto is challenging the safe call at second base.
And we're getting an extra look right now. He might have had him. It's one where his hand looked like it got in the bat onto the bag, but his fingers were actually up. and not on the bag as his palm was going toward it on the ground. Jimenez got him kind of in the shoulder armpit area. And if there was no call on the field, at least, I'd lean out, but I don't know if there's enough.
Overturned. The runner is out. Toronto will retain their challenge.
Clearly there was enough as they got through that very quickly. And how often do you see a catcher backpick a guy successfully at second base? Trevor Story thrown out by Alejandro Kirk.
Well, Trevor Story saw that pitch from Chris Bassitt hit the dirt, and as a runner, you're kind of trained to take a little bit more when you see that pitch hit the dirt. Alejandro Kirk, of course, with the perfect backhand pick and then the perfect throw to second base to nab him.
So that's huge in this inning. Get some momentum back in the hands of Chris Bassitt after back-to-back walks. No score, 2 outs top of the first. Casas on first, and the pitch to O'Neill is looped toward third. Running in, Barger makes a waist-high catch on the liner and ends the inning. No runs, no hits, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the first where George Springer leads off against Tanner Houck. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We're 2 men and a truck. So, you're moving to a new home, and all that's left to do is to call a mover you know you can trust. Well, naturally, you think 2 men and a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks. They'll wrap, pack, and move everything you own. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. For a free in-home estimate, call today. We're 2 men and a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
Hey, Blue Jays fans, are you ready to hit a home run with your next roof? Introducing GAF Timberline HDZ shingles, designed to keep your roof looking and feeling like a winner, rain or shine. GAF is proud to be the official shingle of the Toronto Blue Jays. Visit homedepot.ca and search GAF to learn more about how GAF Timberline HDZ roofing shingles can elevate your home to the next level. GAF, we protect what matters most.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
He delivers a 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. No score, Blue Jays and Red Sox. Bottom of the first inning. Tanner Houck on the mound for Boston. The right-hander winds and delivers to George Springer, and the first pitch hit foul toward the Red Sox dugout, 0-1. For Tanner Houck, it's start number 30 on the season, 8-10 with a 3.21 ERA and just under 174 innings, 0-1. Check swing, soft liner on a hop, picked up at first by Casas, flips back to Houck. 1 out.
Houck's got really good stuff. He's one of those rare starters, though, that throws his off-speed stuff more than that sinker that he has. He throws a sweeper 41% of the time, and then he throws that sinker 32% of the time. But that sinker, though, that's my favorite pitch of his. A lot of movement on it.
Going to average mid-90s on that sinking fastball. Houck's probably been the best Red Sox starter this season. His pitch to Nathan Lucas, outside, ball 1. One out and the base is empty. No score. Home half of the first. And the 1-0. Swing and a fly ball left field. Playable for Jarren Duran. He backs up toward the warning track, but still on the turf. Makes the catch. 2 outs.
Houck was a 2017 first rounder by these Boston Red Sox and a 2024 AL All-Star.
And a 2014 draft pick of the Blue Jays at a high school in Illinois, although late rounds did not sign.
It's a good feeling when you turn down a major league team and then you go to college and then you end up signing for big bucks.
Oh, yeah. Went to school in Missouri. The right-hander with 2 quick outs steals to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. First pitch down and in, ball 1. By the way, speaking of Blue Jays draft picks, pretty cool in between innings. Tribute video put up for Danny Jansen, who got a big applause from the Blue Jays, Red Sox, and the fans. 1-0 pitch hit on the ground to third, picked up there by Sogard. Throw over to first in time to end the inning. Jansen came onto the field, saluted the fans, and it was a very nice moment. Blue Jays and Red Sox tied at 0 after 1. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
If you want to win your fantasy football league, you need to listen to Fantasy Sports Radio. From lineup decisions to daily fantasy to waiver wire advice, injury updates, and so much more.
You cannot afford to drop a running back.
Our experts will help you dominate.
I think there's value there on Austin Eckler in PPR formats.
Set your lineup with Fantasy Sports Radio. Your home for fantasy football all season long. Channel 87 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
SiriusXM has everything a college football fan needs.
He's in trouble and down he goes. The ball comes out.
All the big games are on the SiriusXM app.
Down the sidelines midfield. It's a race. Picking them up. Putting them down.
Plus, hear daily in-depth analysis on College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
There's not a lot of holes or weaknesses on that football team. And they've got the goods where you want to have the goods for a championship caliber roster.
Our experts get you ready for game day every day on SiriusXM and the SiriusXM app.
The NFL Sunday Drive is your home for the 2024 regular season.
Caught for the touchdown!
This is Steve Torrey. Join me and Bill Leckus every Sunday at noon Eastern as we take you live to every game, every touchdown, and every key moment.
Bucks take the lead with 9 seconds left.
Plus, reporters from every game, fantasy updates, and guests live from the locker room.
49ers tight end George Kittle.
Catch the NFL Sunday Drive every Sunday at noon Eastern on NFL Radio Channel 88 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Radio Network.
It's the second inning, presented by Bet365. At Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, and can even make a bet while the game's still being played. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. Chris Bassitt on the mound for the Blue Jays, misses inside to left-handed hitter Wilyer Abreu. And we're underway in the second. No score, Blue Jays and Red Sox. Bassitt's 1-0. Abreu takes up and away, 2 balls, no strikes. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Abreu, one of the top rookies this year in the American League. Batting .256, 32 doubles, and 15 homers. 2-0. Swing and a foul back, 2-1. You had mentioned yesterday that Junior Caminero of the Rays didn't quite look as young as he is. I would say Abreu doesn't look like a rookie either. Long hair, thick beard. Burly left-handed hitter awaits a 2-1. And he'll take it just outside, ball 3.
Abreu's just a little bit older, though. He's 25 years old. Caminero, 22 years old.
20 years old.
Sorry, 20 years old.
So he is a bit older.
So it is the beard, I think, that really ages you, as I have a huge beard right now.
3-1. Check swing, pitch inside, ball 4. And that's going to be a walk for Abreu. Already the third walk issued by Bassitt in 5 batters faced.
Yeah, we talked about that before the game. He has to command that fastball in order to have a ton of success. And already he's shown kind of a lack of command of that fastball. Really has to zone in right now.
Bassitt facing Connor Wong, the right-handed hitting catcher. Taps the plate a couple times, an underhanded swing, and now brings his black bat above his right shoulder. The pitch. Fastball, called strike, going 1.
That's that good fastball. You can tell the arm and the body were working together, and then that release point was right out front. The arm wasn't dragging. That was perfect, and obviously it was a strike, too.
His 0-1. Swing and a foul off to the right. Another fastball in the zone. It's 0-2. Another thick beard for this Red Sox team. Catcher Connor Wong, who's hitting .285 on the season, 23 doubles, 13 homers, and 50 RBIs. 0-2. Fouled off again.
For a guy that doesn't have a beard, you really love a good beard.
If I could grow a good one, I would.
You can. I've told you this before. You could.
You'll get pictures in the offseason. I shaved a bit of a beard this morning, actually. I knew you'd be disappointed. 0-2. High and outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Long steps into the back of the box, taps the plate a couple times with his bat, and looks out at Bassitt. Right-hander set at the belt. Lifts the left leg and delivers, and the pitch is lined to left field, hooking toward the corner. That's a foul ball. Just got down in foul territory, that thin strip of dirt in between the retaining wall and the white chalk. And for Bassitt, a big break, still 1-2.
Well, off the bat, I thought that was fair by a good margin, and it ended up being about 3 or 4 inches foul. I think there's a few people in the ballpark right now still questioning that call, but we've seen the replay, and it definitely was foul.
It was super close, though. I mean, about as close as it's going to get.
I mean, I said 3-4 inches. That's about a half an inch.
Yeah, that's one of those, tennis reviews when they call on Hawkeye and you see just a thin strip of court in between the ball and the line. Red Sox could have challenged, decided not to. Here's the 1-2. Check swing on a breaking ball down and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. While you can't challenge fair or foul in front of the umpires, you can challenge it when it goes over the first and third base umpires. Alex Cora, though, who did get tossed out for the second time this season yesterday, did not argue that one. 2-2 pitch down and away, 3-2.
There's a lot of frustration out on that mound right now. You can see Chris Bassitt is fighting something. He's really erratic with his pitches. Not only the fastball, the off-speed pitches, can't really find the release point yet.
3 walks and 5 batters faced, but didn't give up a run in the first. 0-0 game. Turn and throw over to first, and a late dive back in safe by Abreu.
It's a perfect time for a double play.
Bassitt got help last inning thanks to Alejandro Kirk throwing behind a runner. Got Trevor Story at second. Chris Bassitt can get that weak contact on the ground, especially with his sinker. Abreu leading off first. Nobody out, no score, top of the second. Bassitt's 3-2. Abreu takes off, and the pitch is fouled off to the right.
Of course, it's tough to turn a double play when the runner at first steals on the pitch, but if Abreu wasn't stealing, you throw that sinker down in the zone, you get a good hard ground ball, and you turn 2. But if Abreu is stealing on this pitch again, it'll be tough.
Abreu has swiped 8 bags this season. He's been thrown out 3 times. Another 3-2. Abreu takes off again, and this one's hit on the ground softly to first. Bobbled by Guerrero, and everybody is safe. You have not seen that very often from Vladimir Guerrero Jr. of late. He's been very stingy defensively, and that one probably hit with some awkward spin, but hit incredibly lightly on the ground to first. It's going to be an error on Guerrero, and Wong's on first base.
Yeah, you have to imagine that one had a ton of spin, but that's just a misplay from Vladimir Guerrero. It almost looked like he took his eye off of it just for a split second. That's a play that he makes almost 100 out of 100 times.
Even if it just doesn't bounce to the side by 5-6 feet, he could pick that one up, but because it rolled away, it's an error on Vlad, and first and second, nobody out for the Sox. Pitch to Nick Sogard, called strike 0-1.
That was hit really lightly, and like you said, probably some spin on it, some awkward spin, but you have to make that play. That is a huge play in this ball game.
It went off the end of the bat at 51.5 miles an hour. 0-1. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Bassitt does get the bottom third of the Red Sox order now. The number 7 hitter, Sogard, is a switch hitter batting left. 0-2. High and outside.
Just doesn't quite have the feel for those off-speed pitches yet. Even that cutter right there, you could tell that arm is dragging. He didn't quite get out front. He left it arm side high.
Again, a ground ball would be big for Bassitt. Here's 1-2. Swing and a ground ball to second. Jimenez picks it up, turns, throws to second one. That's the only out they'll get. The quick Sogard sprints down to first base to make it a fielder's choice. It's runners on the corners now for the Red Sox with one out.
It was a good job from Leo Jimenez trying to get that runner at second base. In fact, did get that runner at second base. I thought he would just take the out at first, but the ball was just hit too lightly to turn two there. But a good play from Leo getting the lead runner.
Keeps that double play potentially in order for the Blue Jays as the number 8 hitter Vaughn Grissom comes up. Grissom bats from the right side, 26th game of the year. Bassitt's pitch. Swing and a little looper to shallow left field. Nathan Lucas camped under it, makes the catch, tagging from third Abreu, and he will come in to score. Sacrifice fly by Grissom puts the Red Sox on the board. They're up 1-0.
Yeah, Wilyer Abreu just has too much speed. Nathan Lucas did everything he could, got behind that baseball, made a good throw to Addison Barger at third base, but Abreu just too quick.
And we mentioned early on errors hurting Bassitt in his last start. Well, he has been far from perfect today. That's another time where an error hurts the Blue Jays starter. That would have been the third out had Toronto converted on the ground ball off the bat of Connor Wong. Pitch down to Cedon Rafaela, taken off from first Sogard, but it's hit foul, 0-1. One 0 Red Sox in the second. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Rafaela, the number 9 hitter in the Red Sox lineup, hitting .247 with 15 home runs. From the stretch, Bassitt's pitch. Called high, looked like it got a little bit of the zone, but it was a borderline pitch, 1-1. Because of the walks and not helped by the error either, Bassitt over 40 pitches in the second inning. His next offering is hit hard to third. Diving catch by Addison Barger on the soft liner to end the inning. That one sunk in a hurry, but Barger got under it to make the play and limit the damage to 1 run. No hits still for the Red Sox. 1 error in the inning, and they leave 1 on base. 1-0 Boston, middle of the second. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle.
Beat the rush. Protect your vehicle with Canada's #1 rust protection today. Find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
We're 2 men in a truck, the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikeys accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're 2 men in a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
Which Looney Dogger are you? The Fork and Knifer, Splatterer, Condiment Queen, or Big Dipper? This season at Rogers Center, every Tuesday home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. You will have the opportunity to purchase $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around the stadium. Then show the world your Looney Dog style. Because whether you're the mustard maven or ketchup king, no Blue Jays game is complete without hot dogs. So don't miss out on this deal. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's, every Tuesday home game.
Everywhere you look. Hey, this is Eric Swanson. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Big time and in a small town.
Spencer Horwitz digs in as the Blue Jays bat in the bottom of the second inning. Welcome back to Rogers Center. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. 1-0 Red Sox. The pitch from Tanner Houck is in there. Strike one.
Tanner Houck was very impressive in that first inning, throwing just 6 pitches to get 3 outs.
Faces 4, 5, 6 now in the order. The righty's 0-1. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
And in comparison, Chris Bassitt is now at 42 pitches through 2 innings.
And Houck throwing in the zone a lot so far. Bassitt about 50-50 balls and strikes. Houck misses, though, outside. It's 2-1 in favor of Spencer Horwitz. Horwitz batting .272 on the year, DHing today. Swings at the 2-1 and hits it on the ground to second base. Charging in Grissom, picks it up, throws overhand to first, and there's 1 out.
That's another pitch that he throws a lot, is that split finger. He throws it 25% of the time, and there's a lot of confidence behind it, too. He can throw it in any count at any time. It's a good one. Throws a lot of strikes with it.
Pretty much doubled the splitter usage from last year to this year, did Tanner Houck. And being a right-handed tosser, he throws it a lot more to left-handed hitters. Goes right on right now with Kirk, the pitch. Down and away, ball 1. Kind of unfortunate, at least on a personal level, Alejandro Kirk loses his hit streak yesterday by pinch hitting and walking in his lone plate appearance. Pitch outside, 2-0. It stands as a career-best 13-game streak. So he's now just been on base in 14 games. 2-0. Takes a strike, 2-1.
So if Alejandro Kirk pops up in that situation, do you think that's fair game for the hit streak ending?
At least there's an at-bat.
So you're saying because he walked, it shouldn't count as anything?
Because he didn't do something wrong. 2-1 pitches hit foul, 2-2. I mean, you know, it's a hit streak, and it's, to a certain extent, it really doesn't matter. But it just feels tough that Kirk goes in, succeeds in his lone plate appearance, and loses a streak because of it.
I agree. I just wanted to hear your point of view.
I can get cranky easily. 2-2. Way up and in. Kirk ducking out of the way of a sweeper that slipped out of the hand of Houck. 3-2.
That pitch was nowhere near the target. Connor Wong was set up down and away. And that sweeper went right at Alejandro Kirk's head. It's a scary pitch.
3-2. Hit hard on the ground as shortstop, picked up on the forehand side by Story. He throws to first. 2 down. Jays Cares 50-50 saved the best for last. And this Sunday, you could be one of 10 winners splitting over $1,042,000. Last year's final take-home jackpot got up to almost $6 million, so you can expect the number to grow. If that isn't exciting enough, you can still get add-on tickets for a chance to win Taylor Swift tickets, vacation packages, and more. Visit BlueJays.com/5050, Ontario or Nova Scotia. First pitch to Addison Barger, called strike at the knees, 0-1.
That is in fact enough, Ben. I would much rather win the $1 million than any other tickets.
Than the Taylor Swift ticket? Next pitch to Barger's a swinging bunt up the first baseline, fielded by the pitcher. Houck, he underhand flips to first and ends the inning. 6 up, 6 down for the righty Houck. 1-0 Red Sox after 2. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, with over 2 million sold, it's Fixed Rate Pizza, a hot and fresh extra-large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for Fixed Rate Pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
We're 2menandtruck.ca. We've got lots of men and lots of trucks, so get ready to be moved.
Think 2menandtruck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2menandtruck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2menandtruck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
For this life I cannot change. Hitting hills, deep off in the main.
This is George Springer, and you're listening to Toronto Blue Jays baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The third inning is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Brantford and Woodstock, Ontario. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com. Canada's #1 rust protection. 1-0 Red Sox, top of the Boston order. Chris Bassitt pitches to Jarren Duran. Swing and a fly ball, shallow left field. The shortstop Clement sprinting out, coming in. Nathan Lucas makes the catch. And there's one down on the first pitch of the third.
That was a really late call from Nathan Lucas out in left field. Ernie Clement was sprinting all the way and then kind of had to jump out of the way of Nathan Lucas. A scary play out there, especially for Ernie Clement, who probably didn't hear Nathan Lucas.
And Lucas tapping Clement after, maybe saying, sorry, didn't know I could get it until the last second. But for Bassitt, that's massive, coming into this inning on 42 pitches to get one pitch and one out. He offers now to Trevor Story. Called strike. Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Trevor Story with a walk his first time up, a stolen base, but then Alejandro Kirk threw behind him and got him out at second. Now Story fouls back the next pitch, 0-2.
Just another impressive throw from Alejandro Kirk. We've talked about that quite a bit over the last few days. He's been very good at throwing the baseball, not only to second base, but also third base.
It doesn't go as a caught stealing, but if you look at the 25 caught stealings plus some of the pickoffs, you could easily argue that Kirk is having the best throwing season of a Blue Jays catcher since 2015 when Russell Martin threw out over 30 trying to steal and was one of the best defensive catchers in baseball. Kirk going to jog out to the mound now and talk to Chris Bassitt before the next pitch. Trevor Story hitting for the second time, and you had mentioned he's known for those big homers that he hit in Colorado. Story hit a lot of them, including early in his career. Really got the spotlight as a rookie in 2016 when Troy Tulowitzki was gone because he was traded to the Blue Jays at the 15 deadline. Jose Reyes was suspended going into that year. Story wins the job at a camp and hits 6 home runs in the first 4 major league games that he played, including a multi-homer game off of Zach Greinke in his debut.
Yeah, he had some really good years. 37 homers in 2018, 35 homers in 2019.
0-2. Swing and a miss by Story. He goes down for the second out of the frame.
But like we talked about earlier, just hasn't really put it all together with the Boston Red Sox.
Most games he's played for Boston was the 94 he played in 2022. 43 last year, and in the 20s this year. It's moving in the wrong direction right now for the Red Sox. 2 outs. Tristan Casas is up to the plate, and the pitch. Outside, ball 1. Casas had missed time this year with about as painful sounding of an injury as you can have. Torn cartilage in his rib cage on the left side cost Casas multiple months. The 1-0. Outside. Bassitt bouncing the glove off the top of his head, maybe just trying to refocus in on the zone. After getting 2 outs in 4 pitches to start this inning, he's behind 2-0. His next offering. High and outside, ball 3.
And for whatever reason, we've seen Chris Bassitt do this quite often this season where he gets 2 quick outs, like you mentioned, on 4 pitches, and then he absolutely just loses the zone, and now it's 3-0 to a very good power hitter. Bassitt nods in the wind, the pitch.
Inside ball 4. It'll be the second walk issue to Tristan Casas already today, and the fourth walk for Bassitt in 2 2/3.
And that just can't happen. If you're a big league pitcher, you can't get 2 quick outs and then absolutely lose the zone. Throw 4 straight balls. None of those pitches were close, and even that last one was pretty well off the plate inside.
And now you bring up another talented power hitter, the big Canadian Tyler O'Neill. The pitch. Low ball 1. O'Neill is leading the Red Sox with 31 homers despite 109 games played on the season. Another Red Sox who has dealt with some injury this year. (1-0). Up and in with the heater. 2 balls, no strikes.
So let's do the math. What's he on pace for? I know you hate when I ask you this.
162, he would hit about 44, 45 homers.
That'll get you paid.
That would. Heck, 31 will get you paid pretty nicely. 2-0. Breaking ball, called strike, 2-1.
Chris Bassitt had thrown 6 balls in a row up until that breaking ball. When you lose the zone like that, it's always good to mix in a breaking ball, a curveball, or a slider because it forces you to get out in front and find the release point.
His 2-1. Misses up again with the heater, 3-1. And Bassitt is saying that pitch was right there to Nick Lentz, but at least in terms of the strike box, it did appear that Lentz made the right call.
And you could hear Chris Bassitt and what he's saying, and I think John Schneider is barking right now. Pete Walker, of course, when you see the animated Chris Bassitt out there, it's your job as the pitching coach to back up the pitcher, and they're obviously barking right now at home plate umpire Nick Lentz.
Lentz turned to the Blue Jay dugout, though, and was not quiet in how he felt about them talking to him about that pitch. 3-1 now. Swing and a miss. 3-2. Tristan Casas will get a head start from first base. Full count and 2 outs. 1-0 Red Sox. Top of the 3rd. Right on right, the pitch. Check swing. It's outside. Ball 4. Make it 5 walks now in the start for Bassitt. First and second for the Red Sox. 2 outs.
And that sweeper right there wasn't close. You could tell he was nibbling just a little bit during that at-bat. Of course, Tyler O'Neill has a ton of power. Chris Bassitt knows that, so he doesn't want to leave something, specifically that sweeper, over the middle of the plate. And it was well off the plate outside.
For Bassitt, the most walks in a start this season. And the last time he had 5, April 7th of last year, at Los Angeles, the Angels. His pitch now to Wilyer Abreu is lined to right field, and that's a base hit, bouncing into the corner. Coming around third, Casas scores. They stop O'Neill at third. Into second, Abreu. It's his 33rd double of the year and an RBI base hit to make it 2-0 Red Sox.
And that's what happens when you lose the strike zone. Here comes Pete Walker to talk to Chris Bassitt, but the guys that are coming up after those 2 walks, they know that you're going to be back in the strike zone, or at least trying to be back in the strike zone. And Wilyer Abreu knew that ball was going to be a very hittable pitch, and he just hammered it down the line for an RBI and a double.
And it's a shame, too, because Chris Bassitt starts this inning 2 outs on 4 pitches. A first pitch out to Jarren Duran, and then he strikes out Trevor Story on 3 pitches, but 6 straight balls that walked Casas and gave O'Neill a hitter's count before O'Neill walked. And now Pete Walker came out to the mound just to give Bassitt a breather and try to get him back on track here with 2 outs in the top of the 3rd.
Well, I think that's the thing that Pete Walker is so frustrated about, I'm assuming, is how do you get 2 guys out on 4 straight pitches and then you throw 6 straight balls? That just cannot happen.
And now Bassitt's thrown 15 pitches in the inning, up to 57 on the day. Second and third, 2 down. Connor Wong is up and swings at the first pitch. Hits it in the air to center. Late break, Clase, and he dives and makes the catch to end the inning. Looked like Clase didn't have a good view of it off the start, but he broke to his right and hauled it in to end the inning. Red Sox extend their lead on 1 hit. They leave a pair on, and we go to the bottom of the 3rd. Boston up 2-0. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Baseball's Baseball's postseason race heats up on MLB Network Radio.
Grand slam!
Every pitch, every swing, and every catch matters.
Good one! Good night!
MLB Network Radio brings you all the live action.
Never seen a play like that!
And expert analysis you need to follow your team. Don't miss a moment of the chase. On MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM 89, and the all-new Sirius XM app.
Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your Sirius XM subscription? What? Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on Sirius XM Channel 89, or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. Sirius XM Sports. We're more than just a game.
A new year in the NBA is right around the corner, and NBA Radio has you covered.
Tatum muscles it up and scoring a foul.
Our experts are breaking down the entire league.
That's going to be a fun team to watch.
And bringing you inside the locker room.
It is a must-win game.
Basketball season is just weeks away, and your 24/7 home for hoops is Sirius XM NBA Radio, Channel 86, and the all-new Sirius XM app.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on Sirius XM.
At Radio Network.
Ernie Clement leading off for the Blue Jays, bottom of the third inning in downtown Toronto. 2-0 Red Sox, and Clement takes the first pitch for a strike. 0-1. Toronto trying to solve Tanner Houck, who's thrown 19 pitches in 2 scoreless innings. 0-1. Down and away, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, you can see just even in the small sample size that he's thrown tonight why he was an all-star this season. He has a very good feel for those 3 pitches that he throws so much, especially that sinker.
1-1. Sinker at the knees, strike 2. Yeah, it's been a career year for Tanner Houck, who was fantastic in the first half. He's been very solid still in the second half. But he was really, really good from about mid-April to late June. 1-2. Swing and a chopper to short. Backhanded by the charging Story. He throws to first across his body and gets it there in time. 1 out.
Just so much movement on that sweeper. You can see why he throws it 41% of the time. It looks like a fastball. It looks like a strike, and then absolutely takes a quick left turn. And Ernie Clement just weak contact to shortstop.
That's Chris LaRue. I'm Ben Schulman. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth, encouraging you to step up for the home team and shop local. Timber Mart stores are family-owned and operated and know the value in giving back to the communities they serve. Now more than ever, it's important to shop local. First pitch to Jonathan Clase is outside, ball 1. Clase batting as a Blue Jay at Rogers Center for the first time. Switch hitter hits left, 1-0. Swing and a soft chopper to second. Charging in Grissom. Gloves. Quick throw over to first. Gets Clase 2 down.
He got down that line quickly. I was watching him from the box, and Grissom had to make a quick play to get him out at first base. Even though that was just a routine ground ball to second base, he absolutely moves down that line.
Grissom went to check his positioning card after, and I can imagine it says fast in capital letters with Clase, because the second baseman was ready for that kind of speed, making the play quicker than usual. Pitch now to Leo Jimenez. Second baseman takes a strike, 0-1. Tanner Houck, though, continuing to roll. 8 up, 8 down. 7 of them have been groundouts. Next pitch is hit in the air, center field. Chasing back Rafaela in front of the warning track. He stops and makes the catch to end the inning. Another 1-2-3 for Houck, and he's gone through the order without allowing a base runner. We go to the 4th, 2-0 Red Sox. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Shohei Ohtani. There it is! The first player in Major League Baseball to have a 50-50 season.
When the sports world is talking, nobody gives you more perspectives than the experts of SiriusXM.
This is a remarkable freaking accomplishment.
Hear instant reaction on Mad Dog Sports Radio.
It's incredible. Guy's unreal.
And expert analysis on MLB Network Radio.
He is the type of player that can evolve into anything he wants to be.
Live sports talk when you need it is on SiriusXM and the all-new SiriusXM app.
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed, strike three and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
And a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio every night on SiriusXM Channel 89 and every morning on the SiriusXM app.
While you're listening to this game on SiriusXM, we're talking about the latest odds and prop bets for this and every game on Sports Grid Radio.
The under's minus 125. Heavy juice to the under.
Every home run hit and every strikeout thrown can change the line.
I can't for the life of me figure out how you can favor a team that never wins, ever.
If you're looking for sports talk centered around the latest odds and prop bets for games, races, tournaments, or any sporting event, Sports Grid Radio, SiriusXM, Channel 159.
In season or out of season, the number one place for college sports is SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
The Sportsnet Radio Network.
2-0 Red Sox, top of the fourth at Rogers Center. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. And the fourth inning is presented by Bet365. At Bet365, you can bet live in-game on game props, totals, and the money line. Download the app and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus. Play responsibly. Ontario only. Nick Sogard swings at the first pitch of the inning and hits it into the right center field gap, a base hit. It bounces up against the wall, and Sogard is into second with a leadoff double.
Nick Sogard hammered that baseball. That was just a four-seam fastball right down the middle. And Sogard was all over it, ambushing that pitch and hammering it into the gap in right field.
Fourth double for Sogard this season in 27 games, and the second hit allowed of the day by Chris Bassitt. Walks have been more of the righty's problem as he's about to throw his 60th pitch with nobody out in the fourth. Bassitt looks in at Vaughn. Grissom now peeks at second at Sogard and delivers home. Grissom takes a slow breaker for strike one. Grissom, in his third major league year, has played parts of the last two seasons. Each of the last 2 years, he was with Atlanta. 0-1. Swing and a liner, caught at first. Guerrero, he looks at second, but doesn't throw over there. Nice play by Vlad, reaching above his head. There's one down.
Well, Vlad was perfectly placed. He's about 20, 25 feet off of first base, and that ball was scorched right at him. Pretty easy play, though. He looked to second base, maybe thinking about turning that double play, but I was about to say Eric Sogard. Nick Sogard gets back into second base.
Nick, the cousin of Eric Sogard, a 2019 Toronto Blue Jay. Pitch now to Cedon Rafaela. Swing and a miss, strike one. Nick Sogard, both the cousin of Eric on his dad's side and on his mom's side, the cousin of the nephew of two former major leaguers, Steve and Dave Sachs.
How about those genes?
Yeah, you're kind of bound to make the big leagues. Step off by Bassitt and a look over. And they're going to call a balk on Bassitt. He stepped off the opposite way that you usually do. Instead of the right-handed pitcher turning to his left, he turned to his right, and I don't know that he properly disengaged with the rubber.
I think there was a little bit of a flinch.
Yeah, I think you're right.
That was the balk right there. It wasn't the fact that he stepped off incorrectly. It was the flinch.
So a runner on third now, and the infield in with one out. 0-1 to Rafaela is a swinging bunt third baseline. Bassitt barehands it, throws on to first for the out, but a run will score. Diving into the plate goes Sogard as that balk comes back to hurt Bassitt. It's 3-0 Red Sox.
Yeah, a little disappointing there with that balk being that run that scores, but Chris Bassitt actually makes a pretty nice play, barehands that ball, and rifles it across the diamond. Right to the chest of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. for the second out of the inning, but unfortunately a run scores.
So now 3-0 for the Red Sox. Top of the fourth, 2 down and the base is empty. Jarren Duran is back up. The pitch. Called strike. Duran has quietly put together an incredibly impressive season for Boston. Maybe not getting that much attention with the Red Sox not really being in it anymore. 0-1 pitch, hit foul, 0-2. But Jarren Duran this year came into the game with a .285 average, and he also has 46 doubles, 13 triples, and 21 home runs. No one has had that many doubles, triples, and homers in the same season since Stan Musial in 1948.
He also has 34 stolen bases.
0-2 is hit on the ground right side through the hole into right field. A base hit. Duran tearing around first, heading for second. The throw from Springer bounces in, and they did not get him in time. Head first dive by Duran. Make that double number 47.
I have to say, that was one of the more impressive doubles I've seen in a long time. Duran was busting it out of the box. He was thinking two the whole way. That ball was almost hit directly at George Springer out in right field, and Duran beats the throw just by a little bit, by a hair at second base. That is incredibly impressive.
Third hit for the Red Sox in the game. All three of them have been doubles. Duran getting close to 50 on the year as he leads off second, and the pitch goes to Trevor Story. Inside, ball 1. Story struck out in the third, walked, and stole a base in the first. (1-0). Chopped foul, 1-1. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Luke Swadron and Tom Young are technical directors today. Show Ali is our host and producer. Bassitt set the 1-1. Inside, Story spins out of the way. 2 balls, 1 strike. Bassitt with a long look at second in the 2-1. Inside, ball 3.
Bassitt now is at 70 pitches in the ballgame, just 39 strikes.
This is the first inning he hasn't issued a walk, but he has given up multiple doubles in the frame and balked, which contributed to the run scored. 3-1. High ball 4, and it will be walk number 6 now for Chris Bassitt.
And you could tell with that open base over there, they're being pretty careful. Obviously, they don't want Duran to score. That's a big run out at second base. It's a big difference between 3-0 and 4-0.
Another long inning, though, for the Blue Jays starter and Chris Bassitt, who will now face Tristan Casas for the 3rd time. Casas has walked each of the last 2 times he's come up. The pitch. High, ball 1. And clearly something off tonight for Bassitt. Not a guy who usually does this. He's tied his career high in walks now with 6. He also did it in 2019 with Oakland. 1-0. High ball 2, and the runner way off second. Kirk with a snap throw, and they get Jarren Duran. Duran doesn't think so. He's still on second, but for now, it's the second runner back-picked at second base by the Blue Jay catcher. Alex Cora not going to challenge. Another good throw from Kirk, and we will go to the bottom of the 4th. 3-0 Red Sox. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with every purchase of $15 or more. Visit timbermart.ca.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, Pizza's big hitter, fixed rate pizza. An extra large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. I dare say, folks, inflation stands no chance against this all-star. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for fixed rate pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's building center. Visit timbermart.ca.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Barrios retires 7 in a row.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The out-of-town scoreboard is coming up this inning, bottom of the 4th, and the Blue Jays trailing the Boston Red Sox 3-0 at Rogers Center. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Top of the order for the Blue Jays, George Springer leading off, Nathan Lucas and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. behind him. Tanner Houck's pitch. Springer takes. It's called strike, 0-1. Springer grounded out to first in the first. 7 groundouts by the Blue Jays, first time through the order. 0-1. Down and in, 1 ball, 1 strike.
And if you look at the box scores, the biggest difference between Chris Bassitt and Tanner Houck, Chris Bassitt 6 walks, Tanner Houck 0.
1-1. Swing and a chopper to third. Picked up on 2 hops by Nick Sogard. Long throw to first in time. 1 out. And Houck has had to record 2 fewer outs right now than Bassitt. But Houck is on 29 pitches, and Bassitt is in the 70s.
Houck is absolutely pounding the strike zone, not only with the sinker, but with the sweeper, with the split finger. He has a very good feel for all his pitches right now.
Pitch to Nathan Lucas, called strike. In a sec, we're going to check out the out-of-town scoreboard. Blue Jays down 3-0, 1 out, bottom of the 4th, the 0-1. Outside. Out-of-town scoreboard's brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill, devilishly good since Toronto first raised the trophy in '92. Join them for wings, ribs, beer, cocktails, and catch every play at your local St. Louis Bar and Grill. Download the app or visit stlouiswings.com for more details. Always devilishly good. 1-1 pitch hit foul high in the air off to the left over the netting and into the seats. It's 1-2. One-two. Outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Couple other games going on tonight. 4 games in total. On the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, the Phillies up 5-0 on the Cubs. 2-2. Swing and a grounder to second base. Picked up on the run by Grissom. Throw to first in time. 2 outs. Phillies still trying to clinch that first division title since 2011. They can do it with a win tonight. JT Realmuto got them off to a good start with a 2-run homer. Kyle Schwarber, of course, left the yard for his 37th of the year. An RBI single by Nick Castellanos. And then maybe the most fun one, a double steal by Harper and Castellanos, and a bad throw to second to try to get Castellanos. Harper went around third and came in to score. Pitch to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He takes strike 1.
So you're telling me you'd rather see that than a Kyle Schwarber homer?
No. No. Although you get 37 Kyle Schwarber homers, you only get one of those. 0-1. Swing and a miss. 0-2.
Just making sure.
I'm going to pick a Kyle Schwarber homer over almost anything else. 2 down, bases empty, and Houck's 0-2 to Guerrero. Swing and a high fly ball left center field. Duran going back at the warning track, runs it down, and ends the inning with a nice over-the-shoulder catch. Guerrero just misses a homer, and Houck still perfect through 4. We go to the 5th, 3-0 Red Sox. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
NFL fans, Christopher Russo here. On Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio, we give you NFL talk with a bite to it. First, it's our Monday morning quarterback, Adam Shine, 9 Eastern.
Let me make sure I'm clear, tough guy.
He looks beyond the wins and losses and identifies the trends you need to know. Every week on Mad Dog Unleashed, you're going to hear Super Bowl MVP Phil Simms and insiders Peter Schrager and Mike Lombardi preview the action. We're talking football all week long on Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82, in the car, and the Sirius XM app.
Sirius XM has everything a college football fan needs.
He's in trouble and down he goes. The ball comes out.
All the big games are on the Sirius XM app.
Down the sidelines, midfield. It's a race. Picking them up, putting them down.
Plus, hear daily in-depth analysis on College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
There's not a lot of holes or weaknesses on that football team, and they've got the goods where you want to have the goods for a championship caliber roster.
Our experts get you ready for game day every day on Sirius XM and the Sirius XM app.
If you want to win your fantasy football league, you need to listen to Fantasy Sports Radio. From lineup decisions to daily fantasy to waiver wire advice, injury updates, and so much more.
You cannot afford to drop a running back.
Our experts will help you dominate.
I think there's value there on Austin Eckler in PPR formats.
Set your lineup with Fantasy Sports Radio. Your home for fantasy football all season long. Channel 87 and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Hey everyone, it's Justin Turbin at your 24/7 home for hoops all year long is Sirius XM NBA Radio Channel 86 and the Sirius XM app. Just search NBA Radio.
Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue, Show Ali, our host and producer, Luke Swadron and Tom Young, our technical directors. 3-0 Red Sox, and the pitch to Tristan Casas outside ball 1. Casas was up to the plate in the 4th when Alejandro Kirk threw behind Jarren Duran and got him out at second. So Casas batting again now, takes outside 2-0, and he's getting used to this. Casas has walked both times he's come up to the plate. Left-handed hitter steps back in. The 2-0. Fastball. Low, 3-0.
I would imagine that there might be some movement out there in that Blue Jays bullpen here in a second. You see John Schneider and Pete Walker chatting with each other in that dugout right now.
3-0. Low ball 4, and it's going to be a new career high. 7 walks in the start for Chris Bassitt as he gives up a free pass to Casas to start the 5th.
He's now thrown 77 pitches, just 39 strikes in this ball game, and a 4-pitch walk to Tristan Casas to start the 5th inning. And here's Tyler O'Neill.
In some ways, he's pitched pretty well considering 7 walks. You'd figure it might be more, but it's 3-0 Red Sox, and one of those runs unearned. Pitch to O'Neill. Called strike.
And you also have to remember that Alejandro Kirk has thrown out 2 runners at second base, backpicked 2 runners.
That's been a big part of limiting the Red Sox, both in the 1st and the 4th inning. 0-1. Down and away, 1 ball, 1 strike.
And there is, in fact, some movement down there in that Blue Jays bullpen now.
Zach Pop is standing up right now in the Toronto pen, 1-1. In the dirt, 2-1. O'Neill got one of those 7 walks. He walked back in the 3rd, also lined out softly to Addison Barger in the 1st. The 2-1. Swing and a grounder, foul, bouncing into the Blue Jays' third base dugout, 2-2. Benjamin O'Neill's had some injury troubles this year, a couple stints on the IL. Also missed the doubleheader for the Red Sox yesterday with back tightness. Good to see him back in today. 2-2. Swing and a grounder hits softly down the third baseline, foul. Picked up by Kyle Hudson, the third base coach for the Red Sox. He just rolls it away, still 2-2.
Even though Chris Bassitt has been erratic with most of his pitches tonight, that sinker does have a lot of movement on it. So if I'm Chris Bassitt, I'm struggling with my command, just throw that sinker right down the middle and let those Boston Red Sox hitters ground out.
2-2. Swing and a mile-high pop-up into shallow right center. Jimenez, the second baseman, under it, makes the catch. 1 out. Let's go to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Already told you about the Phillies leading 5-0 over the Cubs. That's now 6-0. No score between the Mariners and the Astros in the first inning in Houston. Mariners enter today 2 games back of the playoffs, so still in the mix with 6 games to go. All of our out-of-town scores brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Wilyer Abreu is up. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Ugly whiff there on a changeup that bounced 0-1 rather.
What would you say is probably insurmountable at this point with 6 games to go? Maybe 4 games back?
I think the 4 that Boston and Tampa Bay sit at, you're asking for absolutely everything to go right. 0-1. Swing and a miss, 0-2. And you're not just asking for a Detroit or a Kansas City to lose. You're asking for Minnesota to lose, who's 3 games ahead of you. You're asking for Seattle to lose, who's 2 games ahead of you. It's possible. Crazier things have happened, but it doesn't feel very realistic. You also look at the Red Sox, who now have Kenley Jansen, Rafael Devers, David Hamilton, and Rob Refsnyder on the injured list, and they are just not at full strength, despite leading 3-0 today and annihilating the Twins twice yesterday. 0-2. Outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Even 3 feels like a lot to make up. If you go 5-1, they'd have to go 2-4 for you to catch them. 1-2. Up and in. Duck out of the way by Abreu, 2-2. But 4 is a lot.
Yeah, I was talking with Red Sox pitching coach Andrew Bailey before the game, and we were just chatting about whatever, but he was bringing up the fact that they're still in it and they're still fighting. And in my head, I'm like,
2-2 is ripped on a line to right field. A base hit on the run, cut off by Springer. Rounding second, heading to third is Casas. It's runners on the corners for the Red Sox. 1 out.
In my head, I was just like, come on, man. You're 4 games back. There's 6 games to go. Let's be realistic here. I didn't say that out loud. Obviously, if he thinks they're in it, they're in it. But as a broadcaster, I have to be realistic.
He can find this broadcast after the game, by the way. But yeah, I mean, it's, it doesn't feel very realistic. Obviously, as a coach, you're probably going to go and try to motivate the guys to do it every day. Speaking of, Blue Jays manager John Schneider walking out to the mound right now. And I think the day is done for Chris Bassitt. A clap of the hands. Schneider takes the baseball. And after 4 1/3, Bassitt out of this game in what could be his final start of the season. Applause from the fans. Bassitt walks off with the Blue Jays down 3-0 to the Red Sox. Runners on the corners, 1 out, top of the 5th. Let's go back to baseball control. Here's Show Ali.
Thanks very much, guys. And before we check the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, don't forget that we do have Jays Talk this evening. Blair and Barker have you covered on the post-game show all week long. Jeff will be down at the Rogers Center, and he will throw out the numbers for you to call after the final out. All right, let's check the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you, as always, by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Quick check over in the NFL, a Monday Night Football doubleheader for us to wrap up the Week 3 slate. The Buffalo Bills first are taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars in Orchard Park this evening. Bills are 2-0 coming into this game. It's full throttle down there right now. The Bills ahead 13-3 on the Jags with TDs by James Cook and Dalton Kincaid. We also have the Washington Commanders visiting the Cincinnati Bengals in Cincy. Joe Burrow going deep to Jamar Chase in the first quarter for a 41-yard touchdown grab by Chase. Bengals up 7-0 again in the first quarter. Over in the NHL, the preseason well underway after a ton of games this weekend. 6 games on the preseason slate tonight, including the Flyers taking on the Habs at the Bell Center in Montreal. Right now, 0 between Philly and Montreal. 12 minutes to go in the second period. We'll also have a pair of split squad games in Alberta. The Oilers and Flames playing in both Edmonton and Calgary separately. Both games start at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, so in about 30 minutes' time. Elsewhere, the Sabres crushing the Blue Jackets 6-1. That game wrapping up earlier. Owen Power scoring the opener in that one. Blue Jays baseball brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Back to the Rogers Center we go. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you, Show. 58th appearance of the year for Zach Pop, the Canadian right-hander. Is into the game looking for a ground ball double play here as the Red Sox have first and third, 1 out in the top of the 5th. Boston leading 3-0. Connor Wong is the hitter for Alex Cora's team. The catcher bats from the right side, 0 for 2 today. Wong taps the plate, pinwheels the bat, looks out at Pop, who sets up on the extreme first base side of the rubber. The pitch. Called strike, 0-1.
The Blue Jays infield is kind of at medium depth right now. I'm assuming that Tristan Casas is not going on contact. He doesn't have a ton of speed. So they're trying to not only turn the double play, but cut off that run at home plate as well.
0-1, Abreu takes off from first and a throw down to second by Kirk. They have Abreu in a rundown, throw to first, and Abreu is back in there safely. Abreu didn't really stop and force the rundown like they sometimes do. Right when the ball went to second, he beelined back to first, and Casas never moved off third base.
Well, I think that actually caught Leo off guard. He took a quick peek at Tristan Casas at third base, and Abreu was already back at first base by the time he even wanted to throw.
I mean, usually the guy stops and almost gives himself up to try to score the run. But that wasn't the case with Abreu. The pitch was a ball. So it's 1-1 with 1 out. Pop kicks up the left leg, fires home, and misses in the dirt. 2 balls, 1 strike. Last time we saw Zach Pop was in yesterday's game. Came in the 6th inning with the Blue Jays up 1-0 and gave up a 2-run homer to Jonathan Aranda. One of the runs was his. One of them was a leftover base runner from Ryan Yarbrough. And it gave the Rays a 2-1 lead. 2-1 pitch. Foul tip, 2-2.
And Zach Pop actually looked pretty good in that ball game yesterday. He just made that one mistake. He threw a cutter instead of a sinker down. And Jonathan Aranda, who has been hot the last 3 games, absolutely hammered it to right field.
And you know it, the life of a reliever. You can make 15 good pitches and 1 bad one, and that blows up your whole line and a lot of your overall season line because of a little mistake. 2-2. Low ball 3.
And you really saw the disappointment, the frustration on Zach Pop's face after giving up that home run yesterday. He knew that the stuff was good, the command was good, he just chose the wrong pitch. And that is so frustrating as a pitcher, especially a reliever. Like you said, it blows up your whole season, blows up your whole line.
Threw a cutter to Aranda that he hit out of the yard. 3-2, and Abreu takes off again, but the pitch is inside, ball 4. And that's going to be a walk, the 8th by Blue Jays pitching so far, and the bases are loaded.
Man, that's a lot of walks. We're in the 5th inning right now. The Blue Jays have walked 8 batters.
I was going to say, it's a lot of walks in a full game. It's a really big number of walks in 4 1/3 innings. Does set up a couple different double plays now and a force at the plate as Nick Sogard comes up. 1 for 2 today with a double and a run scored. The pitch. Called strike, 0-1.
And this is a big spot in this ball game. The bases are loaded, just 1 out. And the Blue Jays are still in this ball game, just 3-0. It's not 9-0, although it does feel like that because the Blue Jays have walked 8 batters.
0-1. Outside. And while the Red Sox, due to those walks, have had traffic every inning, a runner in scoring position every inning, the Blue Jays haven't had a base runner yet. You can hear a little bit of the restlessness in the crowd here at Rogers Center as the top halves have taken a while and the bottom halves have flown by so far. The 1-1. Fouled back, 1-2.
I'm assuming if there's a ground ball anywhere in the infield, at least one that's not hit extremely hard, they'll try to come home because, like I said, Tristan Casas, who doesn't run really all that well, is standing at third base.
One, two. Swing and a ground ball to second base. Clement, the shortstop, picks it up, steps on second for one, throw to first for the inning-ending double play. After all that, the Red Sox don't score in the frame. Despite a hit and 2 walks, they leave a pair on, and we go to the bottom of the 5th. 3-0 Boston. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Baseball's postseason race heats up on MLB Network Radio.
Grand slam!
Every pitch, every swing, and every catch matters.
Good one! Good night!
MLB Network Radio brings you all the live action.
Never seen a play like that!
And expert analysis you need to follow your team. Don't miss a moment of the chase. On MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM 89, and the all-new Sirius XM app.
This is Bob Kendrick, president of the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum and host of the award-winning podcast, Black Diamonds. This week, Hall of Famer Andre Dawson joins me to discuss the significant role historically black colleges and universities have played in baseball history.
I would never trade that HBCU experience for anything. I grew a lot faster and knew what it was to be a young adult.
Listen to Black Diamonds right now on the all-new Sirius XM app or wherever you get your podcast.
This is John Paul Morosi. On the new SiriusXM original podcast, The Road to Cooperstown, I sit down with Hall of Famer Adrian Beltre.
I think my first year in Seattle was the toughest year of my career. I felt like I have to prove the fans and the front office that I was worthy of that contract.
The Road to Cooperstown airs Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM 89, and the all-new SiriusXM app. New episodes drop every Tuesday wherever you get your podcasts.
In season or out of season, the #1 place for college sports is SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
Net Radio Network.
Home half of the 5th inning, Blue Jays trailing the Boston Red Sox 3-0. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Spencer Horwitz leading off, and the first pitch from Tanner Houck, called strike 0-1. Houck entering the 5th inning on 37 pitches, just threw his 38th. 0-1. Swing and a ground ball hooked into the first base dugout. 0-2. A perfect 4 frames for Tanner Houck. 9 ground balls forced, 3 flyouts in the 12 batters. 0-2. Swing and a fly ball, shallow left field. Charging in, Duran settles under it, makes the catch. 1 out.
This injury report is brought to you by Bergmanis Pereira Personal Injury Lawyers. If life has thrown you a curveball and you're striking out with your insurance company, get ahead of the count. Call Bergmanis Pereira Personal Injury Lawyers. You focus on getting better, and Bergmanis Pereira will take care of the rest. Visit bplawyers.ca.
3 different players to update injuries on today for the Blue Jays. First, Tanner Houck steps to the left and deals to Alejandro Kirk. Fastball, called strike. Dalton Varsho, when we were talking to John Schneider before the game, he said was either in or just getting out of surgery. They hadn't received an update yet. 0-1. Swing and a soft ground ball to short. Trevor Story has it. Pumps, throws to first, 2 down.
You better hurry up. Tanner Houck is working quickly.
Seriously. So Dalton Varsho in surgery, or just got out of it likely by this time of day, on his right rotator cuff. So we'll probably get a more firm update on that tomorrow. Bo Bichette traveled to Arizona today. Tomorrow he sees a hand specialist to go over that broken right middle finger. And Kevin Gausman threw a light side today. Left his last start early with back tightness, but is feeling good right now, according to John Schneider. First pitch to Addison Barger in the dirt, ball 1.
That's good for Kevin Gausman because he was incredible in his last start.
And he's been so good in really the second half of the season overall. You'd love to finish the season on a high note. 1-0. Barger takes outside, 2-0.
Although you don't really need to push it either. You don't need to rush it. If
Fair.
he's not feeling 100%, I just let him go into the offseason, have a good offseason, and come back strong.
2-0. Barger takes in the dirt, 3-0. First time that Tanner Houck has worked himself into a 3-ball count today. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see if Gausman is going to pitch on this homestand. 3-0. Called strike, 3-1. This might have been the last start of the year for Chris Bassitt. All the starters coming up after Bassitt, certainly it'll be their last start. 3-1 pitch all the way to the backstop, and there's the perfect game bid over out of nowhere with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. The Blue Jays get their first base runner of the night. The fans acknowledge it as Barger walks down to first.
Well, that last pitch was nowhere near the strike zone. If Addison Barger was a right-handed hitter, that would have squared him up right in the back.
He's not exactly like Kevin Youkilis, who's up there in the Nesson box right now either, but Barger didn't even have a chance to swing at any pitches, really. And now Ernie Clement will take inside, 1-0. Clement grounded out to shortstop in the 3rd inning, 0 for 1. 3-0 Boston, 2 outs, bottom 5. From the stretch, Houck kicks and delivers. Misses downstairs, ball 2.
And it almost seems like Tanner Houck has kind of lost it all of a sudden.
6 balls in the last 7 pitches, and the only strike was on 3-0. The pitch. Way up and in, ball 3.
Tanner Houck was absolutely on a roll earlier on in this ball game up until right before Addison Barger. And now it just seems like he's lost feel. He's lost command.
His 3-0 pitch. Right down the middle, strike 1. Barger on first as the first Blue Jay base runner. 2 outs, bottom of the 5th. Clement asks for time, takes a big practice swing just outside the righty box, adjusts his helmet and steps in. A tap of the back of the plate, a bend to the knees, and Clement looks out at the pitcher. Houck on the first base side of the rubbers, set just above the belt. And the 3-1. Called strike. Borderline pitch, but it looked like it got the zone on the outside corner. 3-2.
There's a huge hole on the right side of that infield. Vaughn Grissom is playing almost behind second base, and Tristan Casas is holding on Addison Barger at first base.
Barger will get a head start on the pitch. Full count, 2 outs, the offering. Swing and a liner. Left field base hit. Barger tearing around second, hits the brakes and goes back to the bag. But the Blue Jays break up the no-hit bid. Their first knock of the day comes off the bat of Ernie Clement.
Just such a good swing from Ernie Clement. Not really trying to do too much. He's got that good 2-strike approach, shortens up the swing, and hammers that baseball on a line out to left field.
So 2 on for the Blue Jays with 2 outs. Toronto with its first runners and now first runners in scoring position of the day. And Jonathan Clase is up, the switch hitter. Houck is set and the right on left pitch. Called strike. Clase entered this game, his 22nd Major League game, batting .234, 2 doubles, 3 RBIs. In his brief Blue Jay career, 3 for 7 with a double. 0-1. He takes downstairs. 1 ball, 1 strike. Infield playing back and shifted to the pull side. Outfield plays straight up. 1-1. Outside, ball 2. And still not pristine command here from Howe. Count is 2-1 on Class A, but if you're looking at the strike box, it really should be 3-0. Houck rocks and deals. Swing and a fly ball left field. Playable for Duran. Backpedaling toward the warning track. He makes the catch on the turf and ends the inning. No runs on a hit. 2 left for the Blue Jays. Their first base runners of the day, but they're still down 3-0 going to the 6th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Beat the rush. Protect your vehicle with Canada's #1 rust protection today. Find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
It's time to celebrate you with the party at the ballpark. On Friday, September 27th, dial up your fall wardrobe with the Blue Jays Panel Giveaway presented by TD.
They go back-to-back in the bottom of the 9th. How much fun was that? It is loud here at Rogers Center, and 40,000 are chanting his name.
Get ready for good vibes and a chance to win great prizes.
What a weekend for the Blue Jays.
Fan Appreciation Weekend, presented by TD, September 27th, 28th, and 29th. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
October 3rd on City TV.
You're safe. I got you.
Law & Order Thursday returns with all new seasons of Law & Order.
I love this job, and I love trying cases.
And Olivia Benson is back with Law & Order SVU.
I've dedicated my life to helping victims. So you're not giving up on us. Giving up? I'm just getting started.
Law & Order Thursday premieres October 3rd on City TV or stream it on City TV Plus.
This is Jose Berrios, and you're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Sixth inning from Rogers Center in downtown Toronto, and the Blue Jays trailing the Red Sox in the series opener 3-0. Thanks for tuning in today. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. New pitcher for the Blue Jays, the righty Tommy Nance, makes his 19th appearance of the season. Nance with a 3.60 ERA will face 8.91 in the Red Sox quarter. Vaughn Grissom, Cedar Rafaela, and Jarren Duran. Nance rocks back, fires, and Grissom takes a curve for strike 1. Although the Red Sox are winning, I think you could certainly argue that they have not capitalized on their chances. 0-1. Check swing pitch down and away, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, like we talked about earlier, Alejandro Kirk has thrown out 2 guys at second base, back picking 2 different guys, basically stopping any kind of rally in those 2 innings.
1-1. Called strike, 1-2. Boston's also left 7 on through 5 innings, earned 8 walks, and they are winning 3-0, but it feels like it's 5 or 6. 1-2. Swing and a ground ball left side of the infield, picked up by the third baseman Barger. Sidearm toss to first in time. 1 out.
It's really refreshing to see a guy come into a ball game when the 2 previous pitchers have walked 8 guys combined, come in and throw strikes. That's the biggest thing for Tommy Nance right now. Pound the strike zone with that fastball, and then obviously throw those off-speed pitches to get swings and misses.
The Blue Jays would like to be more efficient. Their bullpen was used a lot of late through a bullpen day yesterday. Pitch to Cedar Rafaela, and it's fouled off 0-1. Rafaela, the league's best number 9 hitter. He has 103 hits from the number 9 spot this year, more than anyone else in Major League Baseball. Significantly more, too. Next best is 88 from Jacob Young of Washington. 0-1. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
Also has 19 stolen bases.
And is second on the Red Sox now with 72 RBIs. He hit a swinging bunt in the 4th inning that drove in the most recent Boston run. 0-2. Swing and a ground ball to second. Backing up, it's picked up by Jimenez, who throws on to first in time. 2 outs.
And Tommy Nance has now thrown 7 pitches, 6 strikes. That's looks pretty good up there on that scoreboard.
Tommy Nance auditioning for next season, like a lot of these Blue Jays relievers. At least from up here, it's hard to see who might have a lead over others. It's a little bit back and forth right now. 2 down, Jarren Duran is up. And Nance, the big righty, deals home. Misses outside, ball 1.
And one of the biggest things that John Schneider will notice, Pete Walker, Ross Atkins, is can a pitcher come in and pound the strike zone? And Tommy Nance is doing a good job right now.
1-0. Ugly swing and a miss by Duran. That curve bounced in front of the plate, I believe, and Duran still went around on it, 1-1.
I guess that shows you just how good that curveball is. A hitter will tell you if a pitch is good or not.
And Duran, a very good hitter, 1 for 3 today with a double. 1-1. Outside. I mentioned last time Duran was up that the last time someone had as many doubles, triples, and homers in the same year as him was 1948 Stan Musial. Well, because he hit another homer, we've now thinned out that list. 2-1 pitch. Called strike 2-2. Last guy with at least 47 doubles, 13 triples, and 21 homers is now 1937. Hank Greenberg and Wally Moses both did it. Only 5 ever in the history of baseball, or rather 4 guys across 5 different seasons. The 2 I mentioned, Chuck Klein, and twice Lou Gehrig. And you'll like this, Chris, none of them stole as many bases as Jarren Duran did. So if you throw the stolen bases in, no one has had the type of season in the history of the game that Duran has had. Obviously a little bit cookie cutting for his numbers, but it's still a very impressive year. The 2-2. In the dirt, ball 3.
I mean, I really like Jarren Duran as a player. He's just he's almost the complete package. A little bit of power, a little bit of average, a lot of speed. A guy that you obviously want on your roster.
See, and you're saying so much better than I am with words instead of numbers. So I'm trying to say complete player in Duran. 3-2 is hit well center field. Going back, Clase at the warning track, leaps, and it gets past him and bounces up against the wall. Duran around second, headed into third with his 14th triple of the year.
Well, it almost seemed like Jonathan Clase had a beat on it, but he was a little bit unsure about that wall out there. He had his right arm out trying to feel for the wall, and he didn't quite get there, and he jumped kind of at the wrong time. I think that was a makeable play, but Clase just missed it out there in left center.
So the Red Sox will now have a runner in scoring position for the 6th straight inning. Top of the 6th. 3-0 Boston, 2 outs. And Trevor Story up with Duran on third. Nance's pitch. Buckles Story, misses upstairs, ball 1.
And I didn't mean to dumb it down how good Jarren Duran is, but he is in fact just a complete player.
No, you weren't dumbing it down. You were saying it much more simply than I was saying it. 1-0. Swing and a grounder, foul, 1-1.
But he's so fun to watch. Earlier on in the ball game when he hit that ground ball through the right side, through that hole on the right side, almost directly at George Springer, and he ended up at second base with a double. That's so impressive.
His 1-1. Check swing by Story. He went around, according to Nick Lentz, the home plate ump, on a breaking ball down and away, so it's a strike, and it's 1-2.
And on that play, it's not like George Springer was lazy, slow to the baseball. Jarren Duran just noticed that ball wasn't hit very hard, and he knew that he could get to second base right off the bat.
It's a routine single for 99% of the guys in Major League Baseball, but not for Jarren Duran. Duran with a triple and a double in this game. Stands on third base, leading off in foul territory. 2 outs, the 1-2 to Trevor Story. Fastball, froze him, strike 3 looking. Scoreless inning for Tommy Nance after the 2-out triple. He leaves Duran on third, and it's still 3-0 Red Sox, middle of the 6th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hi, this is Eddie Vedder.
This is Stone Gossard from Pearl Jam.
Hey, it's Jeff Ament.
Dive deeper into our universe on our exclusive SiriusXM channel. With live tracks, B-sides, 3 complete concerts a day.
Unless you're actually here, you might not believe it.
And some of our favorite music we've handpicked for you.
Here's a good part, 100% commercial free. Pearl Jam Radio.
Channel 22. Or listen at home with the SiriusXM app.
This is Dave LaGreca, creator of the biggest pro wrestling show on the planet, Busted Open. Don't miss myself and my Hall of Fame cast and crew as we break down every story in and out of the ring and talk to the top names in the business, like the legend himself, The Undertaker.
I'm actually glad to be on a real show.
Catch Busted Open live every day from 9 to noon Eastern on SiriusXM Fight Nation, channel 156, and on the SiriusXM app.
The UEFA Champions League is back on Sirius XM FC, and this year it's bigger than ever.
Absolutely ridiculous from Real Madrid. Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Now with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter! Haaland scores the hat-trick!
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Radio Network.
Bottom of the 6th inning, Blue Jays trailing 3-0 to the Boston Red Sox. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Blue Jays have a chance here to come back. Red Sox have left 8 runners on base today. And Tanner Houck out of this ball game after 5 stellar innings. Greg Weissert, the righty, is in for Boston, and the pitch is a called strike. Fantastic day for Houck. Gives up only 1 walk and 1 single in 5 scoreless innings.
Yeah, he was incredible. In his last start, he only threw 60 pitches, so we knew that he wasn't going to go much longer than that, but
next pitch to Jimenez, a swing and a miss, and Weissert ahead of Leo Jimenez, 0-2.
But he was incredible. Took a perfect game into his last inning, a no-hitter. But everything was working for him up until that last inning. The sinker, the sweeper, the split finger.
0-2. High and outside, 1-2.
A lot like Jarren Duran. He is a complete pitcher.
He is. Tanner Houck, though, he was dealing with some dead arm over this month. And so they're just being a little bit cautious with him at the end of the year. So they get him out of the ball game after 5, and the former Yankee turned Red Sox, Weissert, now twists back and delivers. Swing and a line drive, left center field, base hit for Jimenez. And already the Blue Jays enjoying their time facing anyone but Tanner Houck. It's a leadoff single for Leo.
Yeah, pretty good swing from Leo Jimenez right there. Just a fastball right down the middle, about thigh high, and he hammers it to left center. But like we talked about, this game isn't over. It feels like it's about 7 or 8-0 because of all the walks, but it's only 3-0. The Blue Jays can come back into this ball game.
And the top of the order now coming up for the Blue Jays. Toronto down 3-0. The pitch to George Springer. Swing and a soft liner, right side of the infield, bounces on the lip of the turf and rolls in a right of base hit. Jimenez had to wait, but he settles into second. Springer with an air basketball shot back to the dugout. He's got a hit, and the Blue Jays have first and second, nobody out.
It was almost like George Springer was taking advantage of that big hole on the right side. Vaughn Grissom was shaded towards second base. George Springer got a fastball out over the middle of the plate, and he kind of just filleted it over there into that big hole. A good piece of hitting from George Springer.
Two outs now, or pardon me, 2 on, nobody out. Bottom of the 6th, Nathan Lucas is up. Third baseman Sogard shifted in case of a bunt. Weisert's pitch to Nathan Lucas. High ball 1. Not a lot of this recently for Greg Weissert. Right-hander entered this game with a 3.28 ERA in 58 appearances and has gone 14 consecutive appearances without an earned run across 13 2/3 innings. 1-0. Swing and a miss. Got Lucas to chase well outside on the changeup, 1-1.
Yeah, Weisert's got some funky stuff. He kind of sets up really across his body, and then he short arms the pitch. It's probably a tough at-bat.
Weissert rocks, offers, and Lucas hits it softly on the ground to second. Grissom picks it up, flips to Story 1, over to first, double play. It was a close one. The Blue Jays probably taking a look. But for now, Nathan Lucas rolls into a 4-6-3 double play, and there are 2 out with a runner on third. Toronto is not going to challenge, so that double play will stand as Vladimir Guerrero Jr. comes up to the plate.
That's a big double play for the Boston Red Sox. A pretty good pitch from Weissert, down and away. Nathan Lucas just rolls over and actually breaks his bat. That's a quick 2 outs.
And at the right time, because Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is up to the plate now. Runner on third, 2 down. 3-0 Red Sox, bottom 6, the pitch. Fastball low, ball 1. The sinker's the bread and butter pitch for Weissert, but he throws a sweeper and a four-seamer a lot too. If a lefty's up, he'll occasionally mix in his change and slider. Right on right, the 1-0. Low again with the sinker, 2-0.
I would imagine that Weissert would rather face Spencer Horwitz, even though he's a left-handed hitter, than Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Those are just my thoughts, though.
I tend to agree. 2-0. Swing and a chopper to short. Backhanded by Story. Runs for a moment and throws across his body to first to end the inning. 2 hits to start the frame for the Blue Jays, but 2 ground balls erase the rally and keep it 3-0 Red Sox going to the 7th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We're 2 men and a truck. So, you're moving to a new home, and all that's left to do is to call a mover you know you can trust. Well, naturally, you think 2 men and a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks. They'll wrap, pack, and move everything you own. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. For a free in-home estimate, call today. We're 2 men and a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle.
Beat the rush. Protect your vehicle with Canada's #1 rust protection today. Find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Which Looney Dogger are you? The fork and knifer, splatterer, condiment queen, or Big Dipper? This season at Rogers Center, every Tuesday home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. You will have the opportunity to purchase $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around the stadium. Then show the world your Looney Dog style. Because whether you're the mustard maven or ketchup king, no Blue Jays game is complete without hot dogs. So don't miss out on this deal. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's, every Tuesday home game.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
A drive to deep center field. Trout at the wall and watches it sail.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Seventh inning in downtown Toronto. Blue Jays still down to the Red Sox. 3-0 is the score in favor of Boston. Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. New pitcher for the Blue Jays is the lefty, Brendan Little. He's on to face the middle of the Boston order. Tristan Casas, a left-handed hitter, leads off for Boston. The pitch. Fastball poured over, strike 1. Electric stuff from Little, the mid-90s sinker and cutter, and a mid to high 80s knuckle curve. 0-1 inside.
And he's just been really solid all year long. Like you said, that really electric fastball, the rare downward depth that it has to the sink, and then, of course, that good knuckle curve.
1-1. Swing and a miss. Really ugly wave there from a fastball well off the plate inside. 1-2.
And that'll tell you right there just how nasty his fastball is. That was a really awkward swing from Tristan Casas.
And when you're talking about a second lefty, a rookie, a guy with not a lot of tread on the tires right now, I think the Blue Jays feel pretty good about having Brendan Little slotting in right behind Genesis Cabrera.
2 power lefties in that bullpen.
1-2. Check swing on a pitch down and away. Appeal to third. No swing, says Lance Barksdale. Kirk scrambled to tag Casas just in case, but Casas stays alive with a 2-2 count.
Is 94, 95, sometimes 96, is that considered power these days? It definitely was power when I was playing.
It's like medium power. I think if you're a lefty, it's power.
Yeah.
2-2. Bounce to the plate, ball 3. I mean, I just look at the Blue Jays bullpen. I think every righty out of the 6 in their pen throws at least 94 with the fastball. So it's not what it used to be, like you said. Three-two. Swing and a bouncer to second on 2 hops, picked up by Jimenez. He'll throw over to first. 1 out.
Pretty good sinker right there, down and away. Tristan Casas just rolls over it. But I think I remember when I was maybe 2009, 2010, just coming into the league, I think the average fastball was just over 91. And that's not that long ago.
I mean, that sounds right. I would say up until maybe the mid-2010s, your typical starter was 90, 92, and maybe the reliever was 92, 94 at most. First pitch to Tyler O'Neill, bounces in, ball 1.
Of course, you had the guys that were 97 to 100, but that was rare. It's almost like that's normal now.
I mean, you're especially like your 100s. There are guys in Major League Baseball right now that we can't name that throw 100. That wasn't a thing before. There are guys who have come up in September for Colorado, or guys that are on teams that we don't see very often. 1-0. And you think back to a 2007 to 2008. Okay, well, Daniel Bard throws 100. And that's it, I think. Maybe a couple years later, a young Aroldis Chapman throws 100.
It was rare. It was honestly rare.
2-0. Swing and a liner caught on the backhand by the third baseman, Barger. 2 outs.
Pretty good piece of contact there from Tyler O'Neill. You can see him looking at the ceiling, looking at the roof, just really frustrated with that swing. Didn't get any loft underneath it. Luckily for Brendan Little, he didn't get any loft underneath that underneath that line drive.
Yeah, because he hit it pretty hard. I mean, most times 98 off the bat is going to do something good for you. Not that time for O'Neill. Now the left-on-left pitch to Wilyer Abreu. With 2 outs, it misses down and away, ball 1. Top of the 7th, 3-0 Red Sox over Blue Jays. As we're talking about the velocity, I do think there's a chance that it cycles back pretty soon with the magnitude of injuries over the last couple seasons. 1-0 pitch is bounced back to the mound. Little calmly picks it up. Underhand flips to first in time to get Abreu and end the inning. 1-2-3 for Brendan Little at the 7th inning stretch. 3-0 Boston. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Beat the rush. Protect your vehicle with Canada's #1 rust protection today. Find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between pizza and inflation. First to the plate, with over 2 million sold, it's Fixed Rate Pizza, a hot and fresh extra-large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for Fixed Rate Pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
Sportsnet, your ultimate hockey destination. With more matchups than anywhere else, including Scotiabank Wednesday Night Hockey and Hockey Night in Canada.
Wild action!
With in-depth analysis on Hockey Central, plus live stream games even on the go with the Sportsnet app. The puck drops October 8th. Dive into the action with Sportsnet. Here for hockey.
Here I come!
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Sprinting back, Varsho curling at the track. He leaps, and he made the catch!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the 7th inning, Blue Jays looking for a rally. Down 3-0 to the Boston Red Sox. They face a new Red Sox reliever. The rookie lefty Zach Penrod is into the game. Pitching now the lone lefty out of Alex Cora's bullpen. He starts with the left-handed hitter Spencer Horwitz. And Penrod's pitch is hit back to the mound, fielded by the southpaw. Jogs to first, underhand flip. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Then I looked up the average fastball velocity for 2010. It was 92.2 miles an hour. I also looked up the average fastball velocity for 1920. Do you know what it is?
83, 84?
Yeah, it said likely low 80s.
They didn't have radar guns back then, but seems like it would be there. 1 out, the pitch to Alejandro Kirk is 97 from the lefty Penrod, 0-1. Just a different game right now. And I mean, it's always moved in that direction, but it's really accelerated over the last couple of years. 0-1 pitch, hit on a bounce to deep short, fielded by Story. Long throw to first, not in time. Infield hit for Alejandro Kirk. Already had a triple this week. Why not the infield single, too? Blue Jays have a base runner with 1 out.
Well, Trevor Story knew that he had time. He knew that Alejandro Kirk doesn't really run that well, but I think he took too much time. He fielded that ground ball deep in the hole, and he took about 4 or 5 stutter steps, kind of taking way too much time, and then he made a strong throw across the diamond, but Alejandro Kirk beat it out.
Yeah, he really set his feet, so he didn't throw it away, but maybe a jump throw a little bit more warranted. Blue Jays going with a pinch hitter now. Davis Schneider is into the game to remove the platoon advantage from Penrod. Addison Barger is the batter taken out. We talk about the game changing. Well, a guy like Penrod gets a chance because he's a lefty who throws mid-90s. He did not go to Vanderbilt or North Carolina or Mississippi State or anywhere of the like. He was an undrafted free agent in 2018 by the Rangers out of Northwest Nazarene University, a Division II school in Idaho. And that school he only attended for 1 year after multiple seasons at Division II NAIA Corbin University in Oregon. Lefty's pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 1.
And I'm assuming that he wasn't throwing 95 to 97 miles an hour from the left side out of college, because he would have been found.
Yeah, you'd have to guess not. That he wouldn't have been in NAIA or D2 ball all the time if he threw that hard. 0-1 pitch down and in, 1-1.
He would have been in a summer league where scouts could see him. He would have gone to a pre-draft workout where scouts could see him. It's always interesting to see how guys like that get lost.
1-1. Outside. A little bit high as well. 2-1. So not only is he an undrafted free agent, though, Penrod had Tommy John in 2019, the year after he was signed. Missed that whole year. Didn't pitch in 2020. Released in June of that year. 2-1. Swing and a liner caught at third by Sogard. 2 outs.
And this is a big spot for him. This is just his 5th career game. So you, like we talked about in that Rays series with Biggie, his heart rate is likely way up right now, but he's not going to be in this game. very much longer.
Faces the mandatory 3 batters, but not a lot of lefties in sight after this. So Alex Cora out to the mound to make a pitching change for Boston. Blue Jays down 3-0, runner on first, 2 outs, bottom of the 7th. Let's go back to baseball control. Here's Show Ali.
Thank you very much, guys. And don't forget, before we check the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, we do have Jays Talk this evening. Jeff Blair and Kevin Barker have you covered for the post-game show tonight and all week long. Jeff is down at the Rogers Center, and he will throw out the numbers for you to call after the final out. All right, let's check the out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Quick check over in the NFL, a Monday Night Football doubleheader for us to wrap up the Week 3 slate. Buffalo Bills still taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars in Orchard Park this evening. Bills were 2-0 coming into this game. It's halftime right now in Buffalo, but man, full throttle down there in front of a raucous crowd. The Bills ahead 34-3 on the Jaguars. TD grabs from Dalton Kincaid, Khalil Shakir, Ty Johnson, and the rookie Keon Coleman grabbing one as well. The first TD grab of his NFL career. Running back James Cook has a touchdown run as well. On the other end, Trevor Lawrence throwing an ugly interception right to Damar Hamlin. We also have the Washington Commanders visiting the Cincinnati Bengals in Cincy. Joe Burrow went deep to Jamar Chase in the first quarter for a 41-yard touchdown grab. Washington did respond with a 1-yard touchdown run from Brian Robinson Jr. and a 24-yard touchdown scamper from Austin Eckler. So Washington is now up 14-7 in the second quarter. Scores from around Major League Baseball, only 4 games on tonight. So not including our game, only 3 for us to check out. The Mariners lead the Astros 1-0, top of the 4th inning. And top of the 9th inning in Philly, the Cubs trail the Phillies 6-2. Blue Jays baseball brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Back to the Rogers Center. Here's Ben and Chris.
Thank you, show from rookie to rookie. Alex Cora takes Zach Penrod out and brings in Luis Guerrero, a righty, to face off with Ernie Clement in the bottom of the 7th. 3-0, the Red Sox lead the Blue Jays. Toronto has a runner on first with 2 outs, and it's going to be Clement, who's 1 for 2 today, trying to keep this inning going. Luis Guerrero has not allowed an earned run in 5 appearances in the majors. His first pitch is a breaking ball, down and away, ball 1. Runner on first is Kirk. No hold by Casas, who plays in front of him. 1-0. Swing and a mile-high pop-up. Back of second base into shallow right center. The second baseman Grissom called off by the right fielder Abreu, who brings it in with one hand and ends the inning. No runs a hit for the Blue Jays. 1 left. They trail 3-0 going to the 8th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on SiriusXM.
Let's go, man!
We're back on the track Sunday.
2 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Hollywood Casino 400
from Kansas Speedway.
Checker flag, baby. Yeah!
On SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90. In the car and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Yeah!
Get closer to everything that moves you wherever you are with the SiriusXM app.
Let's make some smoke and drink some beer. Yeah!
Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your SiriusXM subscription?
What?
Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on SiriusXM Channel 89. Or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. SiriusXM Sports. We're more than just a game.
A new year in the NBA is right around the corner, and NBA Radio has you covered.
Tatum muscles it up and scoring a foul.
Our experts are breaking down the entire league.
That's going to be a fun team to watch.
And bringing you inside the locker room.
It is a must-win game.
Basketball season is just weeks away, and your 24/7 home for hoops is SiriusXM NBA Radio, Channel 86, and the all-new SiriusXM app.
Fantasy football players, from start-sit decisions to waiver wire advice. Win your fantasy football league with Fantasy Sports Radio, Channel 87, and on the SiriusXM app.
Top the 8th inning in Toronto. Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Blue Jays trailing the Boston Red Sox 3-0. Dylan Tate is into the game for Toronto. The right-hander making his third appearance as a Blue Jay. Has impressed so far, not giving up a run in an inning and a third. Tate faces 6, 7, 8 in the Sox order. It's Connor Wong leading off. Nick Sogard behind him. Vaughn Grissom will bat third. The pitch. Fastball misses outside at 94, ball one. Defensive changes for the Blue Jays after Barger was taken out and Davis Schneider was inserted as a pinch hitter. Ernie Clement now at third, 1-0. Inside, 2-0. Over at short, Leo Jimenez, both of them just sliding to the left a little bit. Davis Schneider now moves in to second base. Tate works from the windup as a reliever. Facing the plate, he steps to the left, kicks and delivers. Bounced it 3-0.
And again, like we talked about earlier on in this ball game, when Zach Pop came into the game, as a reliever, you come into a ball game, you want to establish the fastball, you want to pound the strike zone down, and not happening right now.
Tate's next pitch is a heater in the zone to get back in the count. Called strike, it's 3-1. Blue Jays pitchers with 8 walks today, although 7 of them from the starter Chris Bassitt, 1 from Pop. 3-1. Fouled back into the screen, challenged him with a heater over the middle, 3-2.
And that's a good challenge pitch. That's a fastball at 93 with a ton of movement on it. You throw that thing right down the middle, I guarantee that somebody's going to ground out on that pitch.
Tate both sinks and cuts his fastball. The 3-2 is a sinker fouled back.
He's got pretty good stuff. I know you liked him when that transaction happened. I think he'll fit right in here in Toronto.
Sinker, sweeper, changeup, and I think the thing that I liked, John Schneider echoed when asked about him, he's pitched leverage in the AL East before. You aren't going to find many of those guys. Misses down and away, though, with a 3-2 sweeper, and that's ball 4, a leadoff walk to Wong.
I mean, you said it. It takes a special kind of reliever to pitch in leverage in the AL East, especially in the AL East.
Tate spending his entire major league career with Baltimore, 2019 to 2022, missed all of 23, came back this year and had about a 4.5 in 33 in the third innings pitched. He picks off over to first base, and Connor Wong dives back in. Wong takes his lead again as the switch hitter batting left, Nick Sogard, comes up. The pitch, Wong takes off from first, it bounces in, and Kirk looked over to first base, but Wong was sliding into second. He's got a stolen base.
And Kirk had no chance at second base there. Connor Wong, almost as soon as that ball was hitting the ground, he took off, and Alejandro Kirk made a pretty good job backhanding that baseball, but like you said, he looked at first base, didn't know that Connor Wong had taken off. No chance at second base.
So Wong in scoring position, nobody out. The pitch to the rookie Sogard, swing and a miss. Mention the family connections. Sogard's uncle Steve Sachs, the 1982 Rookie of the Year in the National League. Sogard probably not playing enough games to get in the mix there. This is just his 27th of his rookie campaign. 1-1. Swing and a high fly ball hooked down the right field line. It's going to go foul, 1-2.
So how many guys is that? That's Steve Sachs, Eric Sogard.
And also his uncle, Steve Sachs' brother, played in the major leagues, albeit briefly. Dave Sachs was in the majors for a little bit with the Dodgers and a little bit with the Red Sox in the 80s.
So that's 3 big leaguers as relatives. That's pretty big shoes to fill.
And 2 on one side of the family, 1 on the other. 1-2 pitch, fouled off, still 1-2. Blue Jays had his older cousin Eric Sogard for the first half of 2019. Was really good as a Blue Jay in that first half. Batted .300 and hit 10 homers before being dealt to the Rays at the deadline. 1-2. Outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
The Naylor family has entered the chat.
They have, although the Boone family has been talking to them for a while. They have 4. And that's all. That's no uncles or nephews or cousins. That's all in one line. Fathers, grandfathers, as Sogard fouls it off, still 2-2. That's starting with Ray Boone and then Bob Boone and then Brett and Aaron Boone.
Pretty cool.
Maybe another generation coming. 2-2. Inside 3-2.
I mean, the way it looks, that probably.
Yeah, it's got to be a lot of pressure if you're if you're a Brett or Aaron Boone kid.
You know who has a ton of pressure is Arch Manning. That is wild to me.
That was left field for me, but
cow.
I like it. 2-2, or pardon me, the 3-2 misses down an in ball 4, and that's going to be another walk. Now 10 issued today by Blue Jays pitching. Back-to-back walks here by Tate, something we hadn't seen from him in his first 2 outings as a Blue Jay.
Yeah, that just can't happen. Coming into a ball game late, like we talked about, this game is still in reach. It's 3-0 as Pete Walker is going to come out and have a conversation with Tate, but you have to come into specifically a close ball game like this and pound the strike zone, throw strikes, and let the opposing team get out on their own. You don't want to just walk guys around the bases. That's 10 walks now for Blue Jays pitching. That is a ton of walks. I can't remember the last time I've seen a game like this.
As that mound meeting commences, you mentioned football. Let's go to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Your Bills up 20-3 on the Jacksonville Jaguars on Monday Night Football. It's been a big day for Josh Allen, who is both the leading passer and rusher for the Bills. 172 through the air, 2 touchdowns, 22 on the ground. Pretty crazy to be leading a game 20-3 when your leading rusher has only 22 yards. But the Jaguars have done nothing offensively. Trevor Lawrence with only 34 passing yards, and Tank Bigsby leads the Jaguars with 7 yards on the ground. All of our out-of-town scores brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. The pitch now to Vaughn Grissom with nobody out. Corners creeping in. Grissom takes strike 1 on a fastball.
Did you say 7 yards?
Tank Bigsby leads with 7 yards on the ground for the Jaguars. They have no one with more than 7.
Solid game for them.
Actually, Travis Etienne just had a couple carries, so now he's up to 17. Next pitch from Tate, bounced down and away, 1 ball and 1 strike. And pardon me, I did not have everything refreshed. It's 34-3 for the Bills over the Jaguars. Wipe away all those stats I mentioned. Josh Allen with 4 passing touchdowns on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. 1-1. Swing and a foul off by Grissom, 1-2.
Tate's now thrown 18 pitches, just 9 strikes in this inning.
Is ahead of Grissom here. And he's got that sinker that he can use to get groundouts. He's taken a little bit off of it against Grissom here, and maybe that's helped him be in the zone more. It's been a little more 90-91. One-two. Swing and a ground ball hooked to third. Backhanded Clement throws to second one. Schneider to first, not in time. Not sure they get him anyway. It got stuck in the glove of Schneider for a moment. It's a fielder's choice. Runners on the corners, 1 out.
That was still a pretty good pitch. A little sweeper down and away. Vaughn Grissom hits a weak ground ball. I think that was the biggest reason they didn't turn 2. The ball was hit too weakly to Ernie Clement. Ernie Clement with a good turn again. He's so smooth over there, so quick with those hands.
Clement just moving over to third base. Makes a play on a short hop right away. And now Alejandro Kirk giving some signals to the defense in case the Red Sox get creative with runners on first and third, 1 out. Boston up 3-0, top of the 8th. Runners in scoring position for the Red Sox in 7 of the 8 innings. The pitch now to Cedon Rafaela. Called strike. And if we're being honest, the Red Sox should have put this game away a long time ago. Ten walks issued by Blue Jay pitching. The Red Sox have left 8 on base. 0-1. Down and away, 1-1. But base running blunders, and the Blue Jays pitching out of trouble has made this still a ball game here in the top of the 8th. Tate set, infield in, the 1-1. Rafaela hooks it on the ground to third. Clement gets up, throws to second one. Schneider to first, not in time. Fielder's choice, and a run comes in to score from third Wong. It's 4-0 Boston. 2 outs now in the top of the 8th.
That was almost the exact same play as the previous play. Ernie Clement with a quick flip to second base from third base, and they just don't get Cedon Rafaela at first base. Unfortunately, a run scores.
Rafaela with a lot of speed. I'll be interested to see on the replay if Clement had a chance to go home. It is a tag play at the plate. I think it would have been risky. Probably a better chance to get the double play, but by about half a step, Rafaela beats the ball to the bag. So now 4-0 Boston. Runner on first, 2 down, and the pitch to Jarren Duran. Rafaela takes off, pitches a strike, throw to second in time to get him, and Kirk throws out a third runner today. Alejandro Kirk with a missile, but the Red Sox add to the lead. 4-0 Boston going to the bottom of the 8th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, Pizza Pizza's big hitter, fixed rate pizza. An extra large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. I dare say, folks, inflation stands no chance against this all-star. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for fixed rate pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizzapizza.ca.
We're 2 men in a truck, the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikeys accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're 2 men in a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
September 25th.
We're going in.
Chicago Wednesday returns on City TV.
Police, get back!
We all face fear.
Crazy upside-down world out there.
But only heroes run towards it.
If someone is in trouble, you do whatever you gotta do to help them.
You do what it takes. You're gonna be okay. We got you now.
Chicago Med, Fire, and PD. New season's premiere September 25th on City TV. Or stream it on City TV Plus.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Bases loaded. The 0-2 swung on and missed. Strike 3.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the 8th inning. Blue Jays trailing now 4-0 to the Boston Red Sox. An add-on run for Boston in the 8th on a fielder's choice. And Toronto trying to get on the board for the first time. Luis Guerrero still in the game. The righty's pitch to Jonathan Clase. Shows bunt, pops it up, and it's caught on the mound by the pitcher. 1 out.
Well, that's about as easy as it gets for a pitcher. You throw that fastball to the top of the strike zone, and if somebody's bunting, they'll probably pop that up. And Jonathan Clase just did that right there. An easy out for Guerrero.
So Jonathan Clase set down, and Leo Jimenez up to the plate. 1 for 2 today with a single. Guerrero's pitch. Down and away, ball 1.
Some easy cheese. That last fastball was 99. It did not look like 99.
He averages 97 on the heater. Throws a slider and change as well. 1-0. Foul tip. 1-1. It's a simple approach for Luis Guerrero. 4-seamer slider pumping in high 90s to righties. 4-seamer changeup to lefties. Very few exceptions either way. 1-1. Swing and a miss at the slider at 85, 1-2. And how about that change of pace? Gears it up to 99, slows it down to 85. Rookie born in the Dominican Republic, attended Chipola College, so was draft eligible, picked by the Red Sox 17th round in 2021. 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 98 elevated right on the corner. Would have been a called strike, and I'm not sure Jimenez could have done anything with it even if he made contact. 2 down.
That's pretty impressive stuff. That is absolute cheese. A little 4-seam fastball. Looked like it's rising as it gets to the home plate. Leo just swings right underneath it. But Bowden Francis went to Chipola. Russell Martin went to Chipola.
First pitch to George Springer. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Jose Bautista went to Chipola College.
I have a sneaky one for you.
Okay,
Adam Lowen went to Chipola.
There you go. Adam Duvall went to Chipola College.
I would never have guessed that.
It's a very big junior college, as the 0-1 is cut on and missed 0-2. When you're talking about baseball talent, a lot of guys, for one reason or another, end up at that school. 2 down, Guerrero's 0-2. Check swing, pitch outside, appeal down to first. He did not go. Says first base ump Scott Berry, 1-2. And the junior and community college game, a much bigger factor in college baseball than some other sports. 1-2. Swing and a high fly ball, medium depth right field. Moving over toward foul territory, Wilyer Abreu reels it in and ends the inning. 1-2-3 for Guerrero, who's retired all 4 he's faced in the game. We go to the 9th. 4-0 Red Sox at Rogers Center. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
SiriusXM presents a brand new exclusive show with former UN ambassador, governor, and presidential candidate Nikki Haley on Nikki Haley Live.
Join me on Nikki Haley Live, a show where we talk about facts, policies that affect your family, stories from the campaign trail, the upcoming election, and maybe a bit about music and sports along the way. Tune in to Nikki Haley Live.
Starts this Wednesday at 8 a.m. East on Triumph, Channel 111, and on the SiriusXM app.
The most important person in sports is you, the fan.
Let me tell you something. I'm a real fan.
And your place for sports talk is Mad Dog Sports Radio, where your voice is heard all day long.
I couldn't wait to get into the truck, turn on 82.
Sharing the thrill of victory.
The joy, the jubilation. I can't stop smiling.
And the agony of defeat.
When is this franchise going to realize people really care about this?
Passionate sports fans call 888-MAD-DOG-6.
You gotta love sports.
Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82, or anytime on the SiriusXM app.
Wake up! Wake up, everybody!
This is Steve Phillips from the leadoff spot on MLB Network Radio. Join me and former Major League Baseball players Eduardo Perez and Xavier Scruggs as we react to all the latest news and scores across baseball and have plenty of fun along the way.
Steve, you were so right about that.
I don't know if anybody else thinks we're funny, but I think we're funny.
Why are you putting us or we into this?
The leadoff spot, weekdays at 7 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on SiriusXM.
Network.
This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership or the Sportsnet Radio Network. 4-0 Red Sox, top of the 9th inning. Eric Swanson on the hill for the Blue Jays, taking on the top of the Boston order. Swanson rocks back, delivers to Jarren Duran, and misses up top. Ball 1. Second day in a row, we see Eric Swanson, the righty with a 5.5 ERA. Gave up a home run to Brandon Lau, struck out 2 in the 8th yesterday. 1-0. Swing and a miss, 1-1.
And even though he gave up that home run, the stuff was noticeably better. The fastball command was good. That split finger was very good. It looked like a strike and then kind of dives underneath the strike zone. He's gotten much better since the All-Star break.
1-1. Swing and a foul back, 1-2. Yeah, it is worth noting that the Lau homer was on a fastball right on that top edge of the zone. It wasn't like he floated a splitter in. Obviously, you don't want to give up a home run. But both the process and the results right now looking a lot better for Swanson than the first half. For you, has it reached the point where you want to lock Eric Swanson into this bullpen next year if you're Ross Atkins, John Schneider?
Yeah, I think you can do that right now. I think
1-2 pitch, hit off the end of the bat, a flare into shallow center. Clase charges, leaps, and makes the catch. 1 out.
For me, I look at the stuff. Early on in the season, the stuff just wasn't there. You look at the fastball, not only the command, but the fastball velocity just wasn't there. The split finger didn't have the same tumbling action, the good bite that it normally has. And when I'm watching that, I'm thinking, if I'm Ross Atkins, how can I slot this guy into my bullpen for 2025 when the stuff isn't even there? It's not the results, it's the stuff. And now the stuff is just as good as it was last year.
He uses the splitter to get that out. Now the pitch to Trevor Story, misses high, ball 1. It's no secret, too, that Swanson, for multiple reasons, had a very disjointed start to the year. If you could picture a more normal spring training next year, maybe you envision a better Swanson out of the gate. 1-0 pitch hit foul, 1-1. And by bringing him back in the bullpen, you don't have to necessarily say you bring him back and he's your 8th inning guy. But if the Blue Jays can eliminate something else they might need to spend money on in the offseason, more can go to the lineup as the splitter dives below the zone or make it the slider, and it's a swing and a miss by Story, 1-2.
He will be expensive, though. This year he's making $2.75 million. He might make $3
the minimum raise, probably, because you always get a raise in auto.
That's still a decent amount of money, especially for a guy that is.
He struggled this year.
You're right. I was trying to sugarcoat it, but he did struggle.
1-2. High, 2-2. There's always the possibility that the Blue Jays could try to get a little fancy, maybe a non-tender, and try to bring back on a different number. Now, if you non-tender, you open it up to the open market, and others could go after Eric Swanson, and he has no reason that he has to come back. 2-2 pitch, high, ball 3.
Well, I think a lot of other teams are looking at that post-All-Star break, right? They're looking at the pre-2004 Eric Swanson, the post-All-Star break 2004, and they're thinking this guy's worth $3 million.
3-2. Swing and a ground ball up the middle, fielded by the shortstop Jimenez. A clutch and a throw over to first, a little high, but Guerrero reels it in, stumbling back off the bag. A point over to first by Jimenez, acknowledging the nice catch. There are 2 down.
I think the biggest issue is Ross Atkins and John Schneider. They saw him pre-All-Star break. They saw him struggle. They saw the velocity 90-92. They saw the less than great split finger, the average slider. Other teams didn't see that, right? So that's why other teams probably think that he is worth $3 million.
Pitch to Tristan Casas. Called strike 1. And I guess the question is, if you're the Blue Jays, is can you find someone cheaper that you feel better about, or do you want to go with the familiarity and the fact that last season Swanson was your second most important reliever? 0-1. Outside, 1-1.
If I'm Russ Atkins, I bring him back. I pay him $3 million. It's as simple as that.
I tend to think that's where it'll go. One. Fouled off the end of the bat. 1-2. Tristan Casas today 0 for 1. 3 walks out of the 10 issued by Blue Jays pitching today. Part of the reason the Blue Jays trail 4-0. 2 outs, bases empty, top of the 9th. Swanson's 1-2. Swing and a pop-up foul back into the 200 level off to the left behind home plate.
Pretty good split finger right there. Tristan Casas, who is seeing the ball very well, was way out in front of that, just barely made contact with it.
A fly out and a ground out forced by Swanson in this 9th already. A breath and his 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 95, top of the zone, gets the whip from Casas to end a 1-2-3, top of the 9th. We go to the bottom half. Blue Jays need 4 runs to keep this game going, 5 to win it. 4-0 Red Sox. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle.
Beat the rush. Protect your vehicle with Canada's #1 rust protection today. Find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between pizza and inflation. First to the plate, with over 2 million sold, it's Fixed Rate Pizza, a hot and fresh extra-large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for Fixed Rate Pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizzapizza.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Green kicks and delivers. Swing and a miss. They defeat the Mariners
on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Blue Jays Baseball. Show Ali with you. The Jays trail the Red Sox 4-0 as we head to the bottom of the ninth inning at the Rogers Center. Don't forget, we do have Jays Talk tonight. Blair and Barker have you covered for the postgame show this evening and all week long. Jeff is down at the Rogers Center. He will throw out the numbers for you to call after the final out. Blue Jays Baseball brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. As always, the Jays tonight trail the Red Sox 4-0 as we head to the bottom of the ninth inning at the Dome. With the call, here's Ben Shulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you, Joe. Jeff Blair right behind us. The Blue Jays trying to delay he and Kevin Start a little bit longer as they trail 4-0 in the bottom of the ninth. It's a tough task. Toronto needs 4 to tie, 5 to win against the veteran right-hander Chris Martin, one of the de facto closers now with Kenley Jansen on the injured list.
Yeah, Chris Martin, 38 years old out of Texas, but having another good year. 42 games, a 3.48 ERA for the big righty, 6'8".
He has 2 saves this year, a little bit of gray in the beard and the hair of the veteran righty who's picked up.
Hey, easy on the grays.
He's pitched for a long time, and he's picked up 14 saves in his major league career. He'll face 2-3-4 in the Blue Jay lineup, starting with Nathan Lucas. Corners creeping in a little bit. The pitch. Called strike. Martin starts off Lucas with the cutter, the pitch he throws most often. He's low 90s with a cutter, mid 90s with a 4-seamer. Also a splitter and sinker. 0-1. Hit on a line left field, sinking and down for a base hit. Nathan Lucas fights off an elevated pitch and just loops it over the third baseman Sogard for his first hit of the day.
Yeah, that's just another good piece of hitting from Nathan Lucas. Gets a little hanging cutter up around the belt, and he just hammers it to left field. I mean, he's such a pro hitter, knows exactly what he's doing up there.
Name of the game for the Blue Jays is base runners. They need to load the bases here to get the tying run to the plate. Pitch to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Broken bat, soft roller to short. Charging Story. It's going to be a close play. Throw to first in time, and Guerrero turns and immediately points back to the Blue Jay dugout. He thought he was safe.
Well, as he does so often, as he's crossing first base, both arms go out to let the umpire know that he thinks he's safe. I don't know if the Blue Jays are going to take a look at this, but we'll see.
Toronto is challenging to out-call at first base.
Quick trigger there from the Blue Jays. And I think he's going to be out. Taking a look at the replay.
Yeah, the Blue Jays have their challenge. Why not use it? But we just saw the slow-motion replay, and he's very clearly out.
I mean, it's somewhat use it or lose it at this point in the ninth inning. You do get a new one in extras. And Guerrero is staying at first, but when the fans aren't cheering, you can tell that it's very clear, because often when it's close, they will cheer in support of the Blue Jays. And I think we're getting the call now.
After review, the call on the field is confirmed. The runner is out. Toronto will lose their challenge.
Guerrero hustled, but Story beat him with a good throw. Vlad jogs back to the dugout now. 1 down, runner on second, bottom of the ninth inning. It's a rare 0 for 4 day for Vlad if this one doesn't go into extras. Spencer Horwitz up to the plate for the Blue Jays. 1 out, bottom of the ninth. 4-0 Red Sox. And the pitch. Check swing, pitch up top. Peel down to third, no swing, so it's ball 1. Coming off a series in which the Blue Jays scored 5 runs against the Rays, they're in danger of being shut out here against the Red Sox. 1-0. Called strike. And it's worth noting, it's been a long time since the Blue Jays last hit a home run. One pitch. Swing and a bouncer up the middle into center field, a base hit. Lucas around third. He'll come in to score. It's an RBI single for Spencer Horwitz, and the fans get loud as the Blue Jays are on the board. 4-1 Red Sox, 1 out, bottom of the 9th.
Well, not a bad pitch from Chris Martin. A split finger that was down in the zone, but Spencer Horwitz just gets enough of it to hit a little bouncer up the middle for the Blue Jays' first run. They still have something going here in this 9th inning.
You get one more runner on, and you'll have the tying run at the plate. But then you're asking for a big swing. And like I was saying, no home runs in a while. You got to go back to the last Blue Jays win, the 4-0 win in the series finale against Texas for the last long ball when Guerrero homered twice in that game. Pinch runner at first in place of Horwitz is Joey Loperfido. A threat to steal a base and potentially keep the Blue Jays out of some force outs on the bases as well. Alejandro Kirk is up to the plate for Toronto. He has a hit today, and in 14 straight with an at-bat, he has a hit. On base in 15 straight. First pitch, down and in, ball 1. With Loperfido off the bench and pinch running, the Blue Jays have De Los Santos, Baroa, and Heineman left in the dugout. 1-0. Swing and a foul ball hit back into the seats. 1-1.
And there's nobody getting loose in that Red Sox bullpen, so Chris Martin is their guy.
Alex Cora had mentioned with Kenley Jansen going on the IL today, it's Martin and it's Justin Slayton, the rookie, that will split those closing duties. 1-1. Down and in. It kind of makes sense as those were the two regular setup men. They go with the veteran Martin, who has 2 saves this year, but has now given up runs in back-to-back appearances, probably having his worst month of the season now in September. 2-1. Swing and a ground ball up the middle. This could be 2. Second baseman Grissom flips to Story 1. Throw over to first. Double play, and that's the ball game. Chris Martin closes it out, gives up a run, but in a non-save situation, locks down the win for the Red Sox. 4-1, the final score.
Yeah, and Chris Bassitt just really didn't have his best stuff today. Never really gave the Blue Jays a realistic shot of winning this ball game. The command wavered pretty much from start to finish. He ended up walking 7 guys in this ball game. I can't remember a start when I saw a starter walk 7 guys, but if you're going to win a Major League Baseball game, you have to have command of that fastball. I've talked about this a lot, especially with Chris Bassitt, and he just didn't have it tonight.
Blue Jays drop this one 4-1. We'll step aside, wrap it up after the break, and then get you over to Blue Jays Talk with Blair and Barker. Stick with us. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hey, Jays fans, ready to hit a home run with your next roofing project? Step up to the plate with GAF Timberline HDZ shingles, the official roofing shingle of the Toronto Blue Jays. Just like our Jays, GAF Timberline HDZ shingles deliver top performance with unmatched durability and protection. So, when it's time to cover your bases, choose the winning team. Visit your local Home Depot or shop online at homedepot.ca for all your roofing shingles and accessories. GAF. We protect what matters most.
It's time to celebrate you with the party at the ballpark. On Friday, September 27th, dial up your fall wardrobe with the Blue Jays Fanal giveaway presented by TD.
They go back-to-back in the bottom of the 9th. How much fun was that?
It is loud here at Rogers Center, and 40,000 are chanting his name.
Get ready for good vibes and a chance to win great prizes.
What a weekend for the Blue Jays.
Fan Appreciation Weekend, presented by TD, September 27th, 28th, and 29th. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Jose Barrios with a trio of strikeouts to end a scoreless 6.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Rogers Center. The Blue Jays fall in the series opener to the Boston Red Sox, dropping their 4th in a row. It's a 4-1 Red Sox win. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Let's take a look back at this one and then get you over to Blue Jays Talk with Blair and Barker. You mentioned, Chris, the tough start of Chris Bassitt today. 4 1/3 for Bassitt, 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned, 7 walks, a career high, 2 strikeouts. On the other side, Tanner Houck went perfect through 4 2/3. Did end up giving up a hit and a walk in 5 innings. They took him out early. He's been dealing with some arm issues, a little fatigue over the last month, so he doesn't throw that many pitches, but he ends up picking up the win today and another really outstanding start.
Yeah, he was incredible, and it was much needed for the Boston Red Sox. Tanner Houck only threw 60 pitches in his last start, so like I said, we knew coming into this ball game that he wasn't going to go deep into this ball game, but he was incredible. The sinker, the sweeper, the split finger. He was a 2024 All-Star, and he showed tonight why he was, in fact, an All-Star this season.
Really had the ball on the ground for the Blue Jays, ended up forcing 10 ground balls out of the 15 outs that he had, or 10 ground outs, I should say, out of the 15 outs that he had. He was masterful and picked up the win. The Blue Jays also did not get much going. Despite out-hitting the Red Sox 6-5, Toronto loses a game out-hitting its opponent for the 30th time this year, most in Major League Baseball. And to a certain extent, Chris, not all of your runs, but you do have to come up with those extra base hits or hit it out of the yard, and the Blue Jays just really haven't done much of that at all over the last couple series.
Yeah, it's really hard, especially against good pitching like they saw tonight, to piece together 2, 3, 4 hits in a row, little singles here, little bloops there. You have to come up with the big hit, the double in the gap, the home run. And like you talked about in the 9th inning, the Blue Jays just really haven't come up with the big hit, the big home run. They need that if they're going to win ball games, and they just haven't done that.
The one time in the 6th that they had back-to-back hits, Nathan Lucas rolled into a double play, and then Vladimir Guerrero Jr. grounded out. And the Blue Jays got their one run on a single from Spencer Horwitz after Lucas had singled and advanced to second to start the 9th. Blue Jays lose 4-1. 4 runs for the Red Sox, 5 hits, no errors, and 8 left on. 1 run, 6 hits, 1 error, 4 left on for the Blue Jays. Tanner Houck with the win is 9-10. Chris Bassitt with the loss is 10-14. No save. Chris Martin pitched the 9th in a non-save situation, and the Red Sox win it to go to 79-78. The Blue Jays 11 below at 73-84. A 2-hour, 35-minute affair in front of just over 22,000, and the Blue Jays drop the game, drop the opener of the series, try to even it up tomorrow with Brian Bayo taking on Bowden Francis. First pitch goes at 7:07. Hope you can join us then. Appreciate you tuning in tonight from our technical directors, Luke Swadron and Tom Young, our host and producer, Show Ali, and my partner, Chris LaRue. I'm Ben Schulman. Hope you have a great rest of your night, and it's time for Blue Jays Talk with Blair and Barker, starting right now.
All right, Kevin Barker. The Blue Jays 4-1 losers to the Boston Red Sox tonight in the first of this 3-game series. They've lost 4 in a row. They are 73-84 with 5 games remaining in the 2024 regular season. It is Blue Jays Talk. The number is always 416-870-0590, star 590, 888-666-0590. If you want to text us, 590-590 is the text line. Rough start for Chris Bassitt, to say the least. Kevin, a career high, 7 walks. That plus the fact the Jays never really got anything going offensively. I mean, it was pretty easy game to pick apart, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Well, Bassitt, I think the lineup construction, that the Red Sox are running out there with the lefty-righty all the way through the 9 guys, I think that adds a little different element, right? That means Chris has to add a few more of the cutters early in the game, and, he just didn't have the feel for it. He had 8 called strikes and 88 pitches. It's just not good enough, and like I mentioned, the sinker-cutter command, he needs it to set up all the other pitches, and, you can say the roots closed and the ball wasn't breaking the way he wanted to. For me, that has nothing to do.
I was waiting for you to mention
that. With the 2 fastballs. Yeah, that has nothing for me to do with, the 2 fastballs. It's like hitting, right? You start destroying fastballs, you get more hanging breaking balls. Chris is no different. Like, Chris needs the 2 fastballs to, just get everybody in swing mode, to start getting called strikes, to start hitting locations, to sort of get, in the flow of good release point with the spinning and the good feel, the secondary stuff. And for whatever reason, he just didn't have it. It's one of them nights, but I'm with you. I mean, there was some good things that happened. You just saw Horwitz with the RBI single and Kirky. I've been saying this for how long, Jeff? For about a month and a half. He looks quicker. I mean, he just does. We saw him beat out a single for his 15-game hitting streak. We saw him pick a guy off. We saw him throw 2 guys out. It's just getting out of the crouch, just getting rid of the ball. His arm looks a little bit stronger. The ball's carrying a little bit better. It's not tailing the way it normally does. Just everything he's doing now looks quicker. And I think we got to give him a little bit of credit. So, there were some bad things, but there were some good things when it sort of starts with Kirky.
Yeah, and listen, the thing about Alejandro Kirk is we were all wondering how he would respond to an increase in playing time. And not just an increase in playing time, but, the fact that with Danny Jansen being traded, there was more responsibility on his shoulders. I mean, Brian Serven was not going to be the type of guy who's going to start 3 games in a row for you. Tyler Heineman probably isn't either. Alejandro Kirk has had more put on his plate, and you are right. I think he's become quicker. If anything, he's to me, it looks like he's a better all-around defensive catcher right now. And I'm kind of with you about Kirky at the plate. If this team is put together properly next year, if this is the Alejandro Kirk, I think Ben Schulman made this point, if this is the Alejandro Kirk I'm going to see defensively, yeah, I'd like to see a little bigger OPS, but hell, if I can stick him in the 7th, 8th, 9th spot, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I don't think I care who's catching, but I do think it gets down to they're big leaguers handing the ball. Here it is. Go get your glove. Go back there and play your position. Get out of their way. I think this is a prime example of that, right? I mean, he's showing you without showing you really that if you just hand him the ball, tell him you're in the lineup this amount of days, this amount of time during the week, maybe you'll see the best of him. So, maybe you can learn a little something just from this, just because of, I think they babied him too much. I know they may have thought they had a better option, Danny Jansen, and the way he's receiving certain pitches, and, he was hitting home runs a little bit better than Kirky has, but now it's an opportunity just to say, here's the ball, and get out of his way and see what he can do. I'm with you. I've been in that camp for about, a month. I don't care who catches. I really don't. I think that's where they're at as an organization, sort of that hard-to-hear stage. It's more about the first 5 guys in the lineup than it is anybody after that. Kirky, for me, is after that. And, what he's starting to do defensively, he's shown you that, if you write him in a lineup, he's going to give you, a quality at bat. And I don't know why he looks quicker, but he does. Maybe that's because he's in the flow of the season and, you're sort of getting out of his way, and maybe they've learned from that, and moving forward, they'll do that.
Yeah, I think that's and it's something. Look, it's something John Schneider talked about as well a couple of weeks ago about Alejandro Kirk and the increased workload, the increased responsibility, and he was the one that noticed that. He just seems quicker for whatever reason. You're right. Stuff seems to be happening at a quicker pace around him. 416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-666-0590. Ryan in Innisfil, you're on Blue Jays Talk.
How are we doing tonight, gentlemen?
We are doing well.
Good. I don't really have tonight talk. I have more like next year talk type thing I want to ask about.
Okay. Well, it's been next year here since about May 20th, so.
Quite literally, right? So let's keep that going. How would you boys feel if one of the only bats you picked up this year was Willie Adames, and you put Bo Bichette at third base and let Willie play shortstop, and finally let Spencer Horwitz play second base for maybe a full 162, and leave Laddie at 1, and then maybe pick up like a Tyler O'Neill for the outfield type thing, instead of going balls to the wall and trying to get a Santander and maybe a Juan Soto, which doesn't feel real to me. Go for a Willie Adames, keep Bo for the one season, see if he can pick up his performance, and put that extra money hopefully into pitching. How does that sound?
Appreciate the call. I mean, as long as I'm not going into opening day with the middle of my lineup being Guerrero, Horwitz, and Kirk, that's the biggest thing for me. Again, Kevin and I talked about this. I think the Jays are showing you what they think about the possibility of Spencer Horwitz at second base. He's not playing at second base anymore. He's, for the most part, at first base. We've kind of been on the same page with this. I haven't seen enough of Spencer Horwitz at second base that makes me think he can't play second base, but clearly this organization doesn't think he can. Willie Adames, I mean, I guess moving Bo off at shortstop. I don't know where you're going to move him. I'd frankly be more inclined to have Willie Adames at third base if I'm giving him all that money in a long-term contract. But I hate to say it, to me, Willie Adames and Tyler O'Neill may not be enough. It may not be enough. I think I need more of a bona fide middle-of-the-order bat, Kevin. I don't know how you feel.
Yeah, look, I don't know what would tell us that they're willing to spend Willie Adames money. Willie Adames is going to cost tons of money. That you think they're willing to do that? That's why I think the Santander thing's going to. Yeah,
I've done it in the past.
For a position player?
Yeah, George Springer.
Other than George Springer?
Yeah, they've done it in the past, though. I don't think you can sit here and on whatever day it is, September 23rd, and say that they're not going to spend money in a position player. They've got some money coming off the books this year. Let's see. And again, we've also you've got a year left of Vladdy and Bo. So there are a lot of things. There are a lot of things that are going to complicate the situation this offseason. I guess that's how I'd put it. I'm not certain that anything's really cut and dried right now with these guys, other than the fact that I think the starting rotation is going to be back.
They need to hit more homers. If you can get Willie Adames in here and Tyler O'Neill, Eugenio Suarez, Teoscar Hernandez thing ain't going to happen.
You're not getting four guys.
Santander probably is not going to happen. You got to get more homers in here. That's how you're going to win baseball games. You ain't going to dink and dunk people to the playoffs. It's very hard to do, especially as hard as these guys throw and as hard as it is to game plan against pitching. And quite frankly, you need dudes too who know how to hit a heater. They got anybody right now that can do that other than Vladdy?
I don't know if you
should be playing second every day. And
I don't know if you saw the graphic that they threw up on the broadcast tonight, the telecast. Did you see it? About this weekend?
It's the same thing I told you guys today.
The Rays threw 77% fastballs in those 3 games. The major league average this weekend was 55%. As I've said, and we talked about this, the other team will tell you what they think of you. And when somebody's throwing you 77% fastballs, they're basically saying you can't hit the fastball.
There it is. I don't really got anything to add to that. It's 2024. They've never thrown harder. Why would you go up and look at a slider that nobody else can hit? What gives you a better chance of hitting something that's straight? Now, I know good pitchers got a couple of different fastballs, one going one way and one going the other in the elevated fastball, but I would think you got a better chance early in counts looking for something straight. Then when I get 2 strikes, I choke up, I do whatever, I hit the other side of the plate to try and put a ball in play with 2 strikes. That's the one puzzling thing other than their bullpen. I just don't get it. I don't get what their game plans are. They overthink it a lot. Buck was talking about that a lot tonight. Just that's what it is, right? You got a bunch of younger guys now on your team who should be, fast twitching it up there, who should be able to get the barrel out in front of the plate and give you a competitive at bat against the fastball. So that, again, something they need to work on. They need to figure out if they're going to be competitive, they're going to have people take them serious. For me, it's starting with the old good number 1. Get after that thing, and then you're talking and cooking with gravy.
416-870-0590, 888-666-0590, star 590, 590, 590 is the text line. It is Blue Jays Talk with Jeff Blair and Kevin Barker. The Blue Jays 4-1 losers to the Boston Red Sox, the first of this 3-game series, the first of the final 6 games of the 2024 season. The Miami Marlins are in town on the weekend. The Jays are now 73-84. Around the major leagues, congratulations to the Philadelphia Phillies. They clinched the NL East title with a 6-2 win over the Chicago Cubs. So the playoff picture is clearing up a little bit. Boston's still on the fringes of the wild card race along with Tampa. And of course, as we've mentioned, the Jays at 73-84. They're on the fringes of the fringes of the fringes. Max from East York. Max from East York writes in by text. The entire American League and MLB competition knows how to pitch to the Blue Jays. 4-seam fastballs up. Blue Jays hitters can't hit a fastball. There's a lack of swing preparation. A lack of swing.
I don't know what that means. What's swing? What's swing preparation?
I don't have any idea. I think what Kevin has talked about, I think it is more of a factor. It's just, I would love. It would be great to sit down with a Blue Jays hitter after every game
every hitter and say, what were you looking for in that at-bat? What were you looking for in the second at-bat? What were you... just to find out if there's any philosophical consistency or any thought going into it at all. I would love to be able to do that.
Now, I hate to be this guy, but I'm gonna. I have talked to people that mean something to that lineup, and I ask, how come you guys don't go up to a man and always look fastball? And the answer I got from a couple of guys that matter in that lineup, they said to me, what if you can't hit the fastball and you have to look for something else? I think we got to remember that too. Not everybody can hit 96 at the top of the zone. Not everybody can hit 97 right down the middle. I mean, I hate to break it to people, they just can't. Like maybe that's where they're at, right? Maybe it's all the good teams. You look what they do to fastballs. They got guys who know how to hit it.
Well, I was going to say, it seems like
mechanically and mentally prepared to hit it.
Now, it seems like other teams find those guys.
Well, I mean, I don't.
They can't be that rare.
This late in the season, it's not mechanical. I hate to break it. It ain't. It's just not. Like you've seen enough fastballs. 97 ain't going to surprise nobody anymore. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just surprised. It's surprising that it's happened all year, other than a couple of guys. And again, like Ernie Clement, best hitter on the planet. No, he looks fastball. Like, it's simple. It's repeatable. I'm athletic. I look for the one pitch that I think I can do damage on to the entire part of the field. Because I can't make a living off hitting the breaking ball. I'm going to hit it because I'm going to get hangers because I took a fastball and hit it in the left center field gap for a double. That's how you do it. That's educated guessing. That's having a good approach. That's being a big leaguer. Consistently, maybe it's a combination of a bunch of things. So that's, again, gets back to that 1 through 5 in the order needs to be sprinkled. It needs to be added up a little differently, other than obviously the guy that plays third. Can I say he plays third now, Jeff?
Why not? Why not? 416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-666-0590. We'll step away, come back on the other side. It's Blue Jays Talk on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with every purchase of $15 or more. Visit timbermart.ca.
We're twomeninatruck.ca. We've got lots of men and lots of trucks, so get ready to be moved.
Think 2meninatruck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2meninatruck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2meninatruck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
It's time to celebrate you with the Party at the Ballpark. On Friday, September 27th, dial up your fall wardrobe with the Blue Jays Panel Giveaway presented by TD.
They go back-to-back in the bottom of the ninth. How much fun was that? It is loud here at Rogers Center, and 40,000 are chanting his name.
Get ready for good vibes and a chance to win great prizes.
What a weekend with the Blue Jays.
Fan Appreciation Weekend, presented by TD, September 27th, 28th, and 29th. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, Pizza's big hitter, fixed rate pizza. An extra large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. I dare say, folks, inflation stands no chance against this all-star. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for fixed rate pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Beat the rush. Protect your vehicle with Canada's #1 rust protection today. Find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
This October on Sportsnet.
Did you see that?
Be here for a brand new season. For rivalries.
Wow.
Be here for superstars.
Honor McDavid.
Because once the action starts,
here we go.
The excitement is here to stay. October 8th, the puck drops here.
Are you ready?
Sportsnet, here for hockey.
Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's Building Centre. Visit timbermart.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Out of here! Out of here! Davis Schneider wins it!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Kirk threw a 3 base runner today, and now he's at 27 on the season. That's a big number for any catcher. What do you think is working well for him as he's throwing at these opponents?
I think he's in a good rhythm. I mean, when you think about what goes into catching a runner stealing, pitchers have to do their part, which they've done a good job of, and his exchange and getting rid of the ball has been really, really good. And his throws have been really, really accurate. So it's a pretty good recipe. Not just the caught stealings, a couple pickoffs, second base, third base, going back to Tampa. He's just been really efficient with his throws and giving guys a chance to make plays.
That's John Schneider, the manager of the Toronto Blue Jays, finding a silver lining to this particular Monday night cloud. Do you like that, Parker?
Nice one. How could you see it? The roof was closed.
Yeah. 4-1, the Blue Jays losing to, and that's a good point. 4-1,
Is it
the
bad?
Blue Jays. Wow.
Is it bad that now every time Chris Bassitt has a bad start at home, the first thing I look at was the roof was closed or not?
No, as a matter of fact, the first thing I did when I got to the ballpark tonight is I ran down and looked up and said, yeah, it's closed. Because I knew.
You had the tough first, second, third inning?
Yeah. It's like 4-1, the Jays have lost to the Boston Red Sox. The numbers to call is always 416-870-0590, 888-666-0590, star 590. The second game of this series goes tomorrow night at the Rogers Center. It's another game Wednesday. Thursday is an off day. And then the Miami Marlins are in town to put this thing to bed on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The Jays are 73 and 84. Vladdy tonight 0 for 4, still 6 hits away from a 200-hit season. Would be the 6th 200-hit season in Blue Jays history. He's obviously not going to challenge Vernon Wells' club record of 215 hits in 2003. Shannon Stewart, 202 hits in 2001. That is the 4th highest number. I guess Vladdy might have an outside shot at that. But Paul Molitor, 211, that would seem to be on the safe side. Those 211 hits coming in 1993. I wanted to ask you something that, because we are looking for blips and pieces and snippets of optimism here. Chris LaRue and Ben Shulman had a conversation during the game about Eric Swanson. Now, the Blue Jays bullpen, Shai Davidi on our show today, kind of opened our eyes. The Blue Jays bullpen going into tonight were the only team in baseball to have a negative F WAR, which is -3. That's a 7.5 win swing in F WAR from 2023. That's not good, to say the least. No. Obviously, there's a lot of work that will need to be done here. Eric Swanson was a guy who was going to be relied on this year. I don't think anybody. We all know what happened in spring training with his son, and I mean, I sort of tend to give a guy a big. I tend to anything when something like that happens, I tend to give a guy not a pass, but I certainly find it a little easier to understand a slow start to the season. He does it does appear as if the quality of stuff is better lately. Do you think he figures in the plans for next year?
Who would you rather have, Bird, Nance, or Swanson? Can't have all three.
I mean, I'd rather have Swanson, to be honest.
Well, I mean, it's if
I put it this way, who do I have more faith in being better next year? Eric Swanson. Now, does that mean I want to see any of them in the 7th inning or 8th inning? No. Or in the 8th or 9th inning? No. But yeah, I would run back Eric Swanson.
Yeah, I think his velocity's gotten better. I think his location's gotten better. I think the slider's a weapon now, which makes the elevated fastball that much better. He's got something to get righties out, take the sting out of the bat. They sort of looking for the thing that's going down. Now you got something that's going, that can tunnel off the fastball or the split finger and go down and away from a righty, which is a pretty decent pitch. You can steal a strike like that. Yeah, I'm with you. It's 6th and 7th guy. It's not a ninth inning guy. Yeah, look, I mean, they can't tear the whole entire thing down and bring back a whole bullpen. Somebody's got to stay. I just got to ask yourself, right? You need swing and miss. Which one can get you more swing and miss? That's what you got to ask yourself. This is what I said. It's tough decision time. It's hard to hear. They're in the hard to hear stage right now. The hard to hear is you got the worst bullpen in baseball. It's not even close. Mm-hmm. If I can find better, Swanson's not coming back. Like, it's that simple right now. But if you can't, and all you can bring is, say, 2 8th inning guys and a 9th inning guy, which I'd be shocked if they get a 9th inning guy. 9th inning guys cost a ton of money. I mean, they're going to try and, force probably Chad Green to come up with a split finger.
How do you keep saying that? How do you force?
Yeah, I mean, go home. Here it is.
Why wouldn't he be
walk around with it between your fingers?
One by now.
Because it costs. I mean, it's against his stats. Like, it's you have pride. You don't want to give up runs. I mean, he's obviously don't have confidence in it. They've had conversations with him. I don't want to say they're forcing him to throw it, but they'd like him to throw it, and they're giving him $10 million next year. I mean, what do you think's going to happen, Jeff? Like, right? So that's my point, right? It's again, it's just sort of how do you bring in enough run producers to hide what you don't bring in the 9th inning? So. Yeah, long-winded answer. He's okay in the 6th and 7th inning as long as I don't have 3 Swansons.
Well, yeah, that is a good point. Well, Chris Bassitt has just finished addressing the media. He was asked about his night and asked if he plans to make another start this season.
The usual night when you walk 7, Chris, what was impacting your command?
Mechanics.
Is there anything specific in the mechanics you feel like you can clean up between now and the next one?
No, I mean, we're not throwing bullpens, so just go out there and just be better. I mean, obviously there's some dry work you can do, but no.
You could come back for 162, and is that your preference to pitch back in?
Yeah, I mean, the bullpen's not going to cover my game. That's not going to happen. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think there's another option. So, yeah.
You've said before that this has been the worst year of your career. The ERA went down a little bit today, but I mean, is part of wanting to pitch on Sunday not wanting to go out off a start like this?
I don't really care about that. It's just, I mean, there's so many factors into it. I mean, who's going to start Yarbrough? He's going into free agency. That's not fair to him. To have the bullpen cover 9 innings, that's not fair to them. So I'm healthy. I'm good. So I'm going to start. I mean, it's just, I don't believe in just because it's the last game we're out of it, I shouldn't throw. I think that's kind of, I wouldn't say embarrassing. I don't know. I'm trying, loss of a word I'm trying to say, but yeah, just it's not fair to the bullpen to say, hey, he's not going to throw anymore. You guys are going to have to throw. So, yeah, like I said, I'm healthy. I'm good. So, yeah.
Well, that was Chris Bassitt, and he would be in line or is in line to start Sunday. I can't say I disagree with him. I was absolutely not surprised considering who he is and considering the sensibilities he has. But the bit about Yarbrough being eligible for free, I can see that. Yeah, basically it's a guy saying, I'm not gonna. I'm being paid to do this. I'm being paid to make my start, regardless where the team is in the standings or anything, and I'm not going to pass it on to some guy who doesn't have a contract for next year.
Yeah, I mean that's fair too.
That's a pro to me.
Yeah, well, I mean he's one of the vocal leaders on that team, right? I mean he's got to stand up for what he's doing, and you just mentioned it. He gets paid to pitch every 5 days until the season's over, and he's guy pitching the last day of the season. So, yeah, I like everything he said there. It's pretty cool. I mean, he's trying to set the example for the young guys coming up, right? Again, he does a lot of talking. I mean, let's not lie about it. Like, he's talked a lot this year. Absolutely.
Backs it up for the most part.
Not this year he didn't. Like, let's be honest. Like, he had a bad year.
No, but what I mean, but what I mean is, what I mean by that is, that whole Chris Rose rotation thing aside where he kind of walked it back. He posts up, man. He posts up.
Yeah, I mean, he takes the ball every 5 days. I mean, he's had a bad year, Jeff. Like, it ain't that been a good year for them. Now, that could be multiple factors, trying too hard, trying to make up for things that weren't taken care of in the offseason, whatever it is. I mean, he just didn't have him. Like, he's not going to make excuses for it. So I just like it. Like, it sets an example for everybody that's around. I mean, again, if you're going to talk it, you got to walk it. And that's sort of what he's doing. And that's a great teammate, him thinking about a dude who's trying to get paid a little bit, right? Yarborough's right at the end, I would think, and how much money he could possibly make. And, you know, he is valuable to a good team. He ain't going to a bad team. Like, good teams could use him, you know, to sort of hide things coming out of pins in the way the Blue Jays have used him since he's been a Blue Jay. So just love everything about that. And, you know, hopefully he ends the season with a better start than this one tonight. Hopefully the roof's open. That's what we're going with. Hopefully it's open.
I mean, Sunday, take a look at the weather Sunday and then take a look at the forecast. I mean, you know, the only thing this is kind of a moot point now, but the only thing I keep thinking about when he, referring to Chris Bassitt, talking about the roof being closed the other day, was in the postseason, the roof is generally closed because Major League Baseball takes control of the situation.
Maybe that's why he didn't pitch
in the
postseason.
Yeah, I mean, well... But I mean, no, what? Because they were outdoors in Minnesota.
They were here, weren't they?
No,
they
played in Minnesota last year. They played in Minnesota last year.
I mean,
no, but they were outdoors, is what I'm saying. Okay. Minnesota, so it wouldn't have anything to do with.
They had better options.
Apparently, they had better options.
No, 4-1. Hopefully, he finishes the season the way he wants to.
Yep. 4-1, the Blue Jays have lost to the Boston Red Sox, the first of 3 games. 7:07 will be the first pitch tomorrow night. We will be along following the game with Blue Jays Talk tomorrow night, and Blair and Barker from 4 to 6 Eastern on Sportsnet 590 Fan of Sportsnet. Yes, Mr. Barker, you're
20 and 30 in the American League East. How's that suit you?
That sounds like last place to me.
Yeah, I mean, they could end up 12 games under 500 in the American League East. That's a big number, Jeff. Like, there's a lot of these things. All you got to do is look at the standings enough to get you upset as an organization to try and go out and fix it and make it better, I would think.
4-1, the Blue Jays losing to the Boston Red Sox. That is it for us from the Rogers Center. Thank you for listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Brantford and Woodstock, Ontario. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com. Canada's #1 rust protection.
Has been Major League Baseball play-by-play on SiriusXM and the SiriusXM app.
Why do I love calling this game?
Calling this game.
Calling this game.
Calling this game.
Why do I love calling this game? It's because I get a chance to bring some joy into people's lives.
Anything can happen on a baseball field.
We've got a new game! It's perfectly unscripted theater.
Everybody on their feet!
Because you never know what you're going to see on a given day.
It is Bedlam at the bank as Bryce Harper has put the Phillies on top! There's just something about baseball on the radio.
Something about the way wood hits leather.
A swing and a drive to deep left center!
The way leather hits dirt.
And he made the play! Oh, my!
The way a deep fly ball sounds like it's about to change history.
High fly ball to center field. It's hit pretty well toward the wall!
Until the cleats hit the grass, hit the crushed brick, and then nothing but sky and a silent crowd.
That ball's high!
Until leather hits leather and 40,000 fans lose their collective minds.
In a perfect symphony of chaos.
He jumped up on top of the wall, balanced himself, and caught it!
The way nothing triumphs a perfectly honest call.
I don't believe what I just saw!
And the way the right voice can make a moment live forever.
Touch 'em all, Joe! You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life! Outsiders may think this is just 2 teams.
The ball, a bat, and a microphone, but no.
For over 100 years, this has been the soundtrack of the American pastime.
He struck it out looking! It's over! It's over! The Rangers have won the World Series!
the soundtrack of summer. This is Major League Baseball on the radio.
Right now on Sirius XM.
All rise. Coming in 5.
Get ready to play.
4.
Get up! Get up!
3.
Can you believe it? Put your seatbelt on.
Wow.
Talk about the game and all the stories on MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM 89, and the Sirius XM app.
Comes to life on Sirius XM. It's your destination for everything on the tour. Hear live hole-by-hole coverage and expert analysis. PGA Tour Radio, Sirius XM 92.
Baltimore Orioles catcher James McCann stopped by SiriusXM MLB Network Radio on Channel 89 to share what it was like to catch a ball going 95 miles per hour with his face and then continue to play 8 more innings.
Honestly, if I'm being honest, I still have about 300 unread text messages from that day.
No way.
As a matter of fact, he's our minor league catching coordinator, farm director. He's probably gonna get mad I messed up his title, but he was my first spring training with Detroit was his last spring training as a player. And he transitioned into bullpen catcher that year for the Tigers, and then a few years later became a scout, and now he's obviously with the Orioles as a catching coordinator and farm director. But he and I are pretty close, and I saw him for the first time the other day since getting hit in the face, and he gave me a hard time. He said, I guess you got a new phone number? And actually, Alex Avila, same thing. I guess you got a new phone number? I said, no, why? I hadn't texted him back, but I have about 300 unread text messages from that day.
Good.
So I don't know who all reached out to me, and I apologize for not getting back. My phone was exploding.
Sirius XM has soccer covered end to end. Sirius XM FC. Hear live play-by-play and talk shows hosted by legends of the game. It's Sirius XM FC on Channel 157.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM MLB schedule for Monday, September the 23rd. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 6:40 p.m., Philadelphia Phillies take on the Chicago Cubs. Phillies on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 860, Cubs on Internet 844, Spanish feed on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 870. 7:07 p.m. Toronto Blue Jays take on the Boston Red Sox. Blue Jays on Sirius 209, XM 176, and Internet 868, Red Sox on Internet 843. 8:10 p.m. Houston Astros taking the Seattle Mariners. Astros on Sirius 210, XM 177, and Internet 850, Mariners on Internet 864. 9:40 p.m. Arizona Diamondbacks taking the San Francisco Giants. Diamondbacks on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 840, Giants on Internet 863. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM MLB schedule for Monday, September the 23rd. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 6:40 p.m., Philadelphia Phillies take on the Chicago Cubs. Phillies on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 860, Cubs on Internet 844, Spanish feed on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 870. 7:07 p.m. Toronto Blue Jays take on the Boston Red Sox. Blue Jays on Sirius 209, XM 176, and Internet 868, Red Sox on Internet 843. 8:10 p.m. Houston Astros taking the Seattle Mariners. Astros on Sirius 210, XM 177, and Internet 850, Mariners on Internet 864. 9:40 p.m. Arizona Diamondbacks taking the San Francisco Giants. Diamondbacks on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 840, Giants on Internet 863. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM MLB schedule for Monday, September the 23rd. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 6:40 p.m., Philadelphia Phillies take on the Chicago Cubs. Phillies on Sirius